What's happening, party people? News time. Lots of we're on a time limit, and there's a lot to talk about. Hi, Mew. How are you?
I'm good.
Hey, Toast.
Well, I've been better. A little bit of pain today, but
Yeah, no, I'm also tired. So we're gonna get through this together, though.
we're gonna make it.
We're gonna make it.
Worst comes to worst, they still have like 20 naproxen. It's fine.
So I have some small things on a sticky note right here. So before we get into the first article that I have up on the screen, I don't know if you can also see that, Mew, to like...
Yeah, I also just have the article up.
Yeah, but like to see which article I'm looking at.
Yeah, Bioware.
Yeah. Before that, Origin is shutting down in April, which is EA's old link all of your EA games account system. It was called Origin, and it is shutting down in April, and instead EA is just launching the EA app. They're making it unnecessarily difficult by shutting down one server and forcing a max exodus to a different service for no reason.
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense. It's especially annoying when like you buy their games on Steam and it's just like, oh, you have to make this account and then you have to have this app and then you have to log in every time you launch the game on Steam. It's like, can you not?
Exactly, Arrow. Oh,
I'll just not buy these.
Exactly. Origin, whatever shall we do? Exactly, Arrow. So, yeah, I had a couple games that required Origin, but like, I say playing a Ubisoft game. It's so bad. Like, I hate that this is always a thing, and then, like, PlayStation is finally rolling it back. PlayStation is finally like, okay, we won't require PSN login for our online games, after already having a dozen games come to Steam where that was a problem. Yeah. Oh, and Ubisoft,
Yeah.
Ubi Connect, or whatever their thing is called. Instead of...
Isn't that going away too, or... Oh no, the whole thing might go away, right?
Who knows? But... Speaking of EA, pivoting into BioWare, which is owned by EA, BioWare is downsizing its core development team for the next Mass Effect. We don't require support from a full studio. So in their statement, they never say the word layoffs. They never say they're letting people go. But people who have been with the company since, like, Mass Effect 1 are like, oh yeah, no, they let me go. I got fired, or... I guess fired would be for, you know, a negative, but no, they were downsizing really badly over at BioWare.
Isn't, like, the difference between, like, being laid off and being fired is, like, one requires, like, compensation and one you can get from, like, unemployment insurance from, and the other one you, like, can't because you're just technically on leave from work and they might call you back or something?
I mean... I think that's just called on leave, but the difference from my understanding between fired and laid off, laid off is when the company says it's not you, it's me. Fired is when the company says it's you.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was laid off because I remember that's the language that they used, is they laid us off during the pandemic, but they did call a majority of, well, the ones that came back, right? Like, some of us came back. They just called all of us back. And, like, they did reassure us that it was temporary, and they said they already sent our information on employment insurance and yada yada, so they did all the proper stuff, but... And, like, that was pandemic time, so it was a little different, but...
Right.
Yeah, I think laid off you can possibly still be called back if they want you back, but it really depends on you, I guess, at that point.
It depends on the culture.
If you're fired, they don't want you.
I heard a great argument just thinking about downsizing, because there's a couple other layoffs we'll get to at some point, today. Unfortunately, there were quite a few layoffs. Somebody brought up, well, I always get them mixed up, and I will never learn. Is it Supermassive or Supergiant that made Hades?
That's a good question. We literally
Supergiant. Thank you, Toast. Because Supermassive made Until Dawn.
Oh wait, yeah, and then we had the conversation about how Hades is super massive because he's massive. Look at his feet. Yeah, okay. I remember now.
So Supergiant, somebody made the comparison that Supergiant doesn't... I've never heard of Supermassive until now. Yeah, they did, like, Until Dawn, The Quarry.
Those horror movie video games.
Yeah. Yo, Blair.
Hi, Blair. Are you
Um,
still at or West End?
Being laid off versus being fired is very important for unemployment and insurance purposes. Yes. If you get fired, you lose everything. If you get laid off, you can file unemployment, retain insurance benefits for an amount of time depending on state. Yep.
Yeah, so we don't need like health insurance here in Canada. It would just be for stuff like glasses and dental. And even then, they're rolling out stuff for dental for lower income people anyway. You just gotta have filed your taxes, and they'll be able to tell if you qualify for it. But so yeah, you wouldn't really necessarily need to retain your insurance, but to get like paid while you're off, because you pay into employment insurance here, so to get that, you have to be not fired here.
Didn't the Dauntless company just do some layoffs? They sure did, Makeru. Welcome to chat. Good to have you. I don't even think I have an article up on them, but yeah, the Dauntless's company also just had some layoffs. So the reason why this obviously all layoffs bother me, but the reason I brought up Supergiant is I heard somebody make the comparison of Supergiant has never had to do mass layoffs to that extent. And the reason why they're so successful is because they are investing in their own creatives instead of saying, cool, you made a game for us, you can leave now. Insomniac also does this, where they keep people for a while. You know, they don't just make a game and then fire a bunch of people because the game didn't do well. They say, no, we're going to keep you, compensate you for your time, and work on making a better game with you because we learned about all this together, right? Like, why did this game not do well? We'll figure it out and then we can work on it together. But
Eat the rich.
Big companies like EA don't care. And hey, let me see if I can find specific names in this article. Confirmed today the blog post. Downsizing. Yep, because Veilguard did not do well. I saw some specific names. They laid off. In 2023, they laid off 50 employees. Okay, it doesn't say.
The toast stilettos.
The thing is, I never use this account for anything other than just pulling up gaming news and stuff. Just so, like, if I pull up Google, it doesn't have, like, any frequently searched things. Like, it doesn't have any saved. So, like, these ads are just a scattershot because they don't know who this person is. Because this, like, Learning Center. I'm a child. Come on, Kids Learning Center.
Also, you might have kids. A lot of people have kids.
Yeah, no, it's just so funny. Yeah, so that's one of the layoffs is BioWare's downsizing, and they used scummy language to talk about it because we don't require support from the full studio. In other words, I think they said we have a small group of core individuals, but they fired like veteran employees that had worked on everything from like the original Mass Effect trilogy to like I think they fired like some of the original people from Dragon Age as well, because again, Veilguard didn't do well, and these are people who had been with Dragon Age for every installation. The OS did an average IQ test. You'd be surprised how many people would need that class. Yeah, no, like the fact that 100 is the average IQ means half the population has a double-digit IQ. BioWare is dead.
Wait, you mean like EQAO? Oh, you don't have that. In the 3rd grade, and I believe the 6th grade, and then they have something different in high school, they have like a nationwide test thing that they do.
We have
at specific grades.
Yeah, we have SATs. SATs are a high school thing about college placement, about like where you're at for college placements.
So that they can like scout people they want to go to Harvard.
Yeah, or like if you go to apply for college, like some things, that's the ACT. Here's the thing, I didn't take any of them. I was told like the pre-SATs were not necessary, so I didn't do that. and I don't remember taking the SATs. I might have, but like I just remember because I went to like a very small college that didn't require a lot to get into, so like I already knew where I was going, and they didn't require any of these big tests, so I didn't take them.
Oh, okay. So I haven't been in school for like fucking years. I'm old. Whatever. But we do EQAO for math, and then we also have province-wide literary tests.
Mm.
So there's like, I forgot that they're separate. Yeah. But EQAO is for mathematics, and they do that grade 3, grade 6, and grade 9. And then we have a literary one as well. And then I don't think we have like general ones for like sciences, like other sciences and stuff like that. But a lot of the time, those sciences end up becoming elective in high school anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can either take bio, or you can take chem, or you can take,
Yeah.
you can move on to physics, whichever. But that's like later on, and
Yeah.
you've already figured it out by then. Usually, like, oh, I like physics, I'm gonna take a physics.
Yeah, what Arrow's saying, standardized tests in Texas for all grades. We also had that in Washington. We had I think each state has their own different form of standardized test, but that's how education works. Is every year there's basically an all grades past 3. I'm trying to think. I think ours started in like 4th or 5th grade. But yeah, it's basically like at the end of every school year, there would be a standardized test of here's all the math you learned, just to make sure kids weren't falling behind. Because when I was a child, I think around the time I was entering those grades is when like Obama was in office, and his wife Michelle was super for like children's education. Like all the like No Child Left Behind stuff. So that's where they really gutted like a lot of state programs and restructured them to make sure. And I think
Isn't that kind of like?
I think Bush's wife was also big on children's education too. But I'm sorry, go on.
Because like, okay, so this is obviously like a little bit of an outsider's perspective, and obviously childhood, because I do not like children, so I don't know much about child education either.
Fair.
But I feel like the idea, or how it turned out, at least from what I've seen, is like No Child Left Behind like kind of makes kids feel more included and feel like, oh, just because you're not like, the same as Rebecca doesn't mean you're stupid. But like being able to pass grades no matter what seems a little bit harmful. Like if you're not at a grade 7 reading level, you shouldn't be doing grade 7.
Correct. So what would end up happening with all these No Child Left Behind things is and the horrible repercussions on the U.S. education. Correct. Yeah, no, it, basically what happened was they started lowering the standards more and more so that no child was left behind. So, reading comprehension.
That's good.
Yeah, reading comprehension levels started going down because kids weren't reading, or kids were reading less and less. And
because you have the kids that'll like have an attitude where it's just like, oh, I don't need to do this, and then you have the kids that actually do need some one-on-one help because I don't know, maybe they have, dyslexia, or maybe they have issues at home and they can't focus. There's so many different factors, and one of the reasons why funding education and making sure that they get the proper education rather than just graduating them whenever is so that their specific needs can be met, especially with like, not the rise of autism, but the rise of autism awareness, I would say. We now know that generally speaking, everybody has different learning, like ways of learning and ways of memorizing things and all that stuff. So you need more support for those individual learning, but yet they want to stuff 50 kids into a single classroom.
Yeah,
and it's the teacher's fault. What's more important is making sure the teacher is armed instead of, I don't know.
I had an undiagnosed like attention deficit whatever when I was a kid, so I could only really focus if it interested me. So like I had really good like science scores and literacy scores and art scores and stuff, but I was terrible at math. But because all of my average test scores were so high, I was placed in a sort of like advanced course, and basically what would happen was for like the 5 or 6 like smarter kids in the grades, they would send us on like science-y field trips so that every other kid could have a catch-up day. It was like, hey, all of you need help with this thing. And I remember so vividly because I was in this program, I was automatically recommended when I got to junior high into high school. I was automatically recommended for all the higher level classes in there. And that
Oh,
included a high level math class, and I was bad at math.
yeah. Everybody has different strengths and weaknesses, right?
Mm-hmm. It
Like
was
some people might struggle creatively, so they'd fail art, but they can work out math equations in their sleep.
that the junior high standardized like math test at the end of the year for that math class that I was not ready for was my first panic attack.
Oof.
I remember so vividly having to go out into the hallway and I had no idea what was going on, and the teacher was basically like, "You're distracting the other students. Wait out here till you calm down." It's like, all right, yeah, fuck me, I guess. But you want to know what made it worse? The time was still ticking for the standardized test. So I was losing time. Because it's...
So that made it better, yeah.
Yeah, right? No. Anyway, BioWare. This sucks, and I agree that Mass Effect 5 needs to be fucking huge or they're donezo. I would not be surprised if EA dissolved BioWare and just shifted all those employees to other companies and basically like, hey, you can either keep your job and move 2 states over or not keep your job.
Yeesh.
I wouldn't be surprised if EA tried something like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna close this window and whatever story opens, like whatever article opens up, that's what I'm gonna do next, alright?
Wait.
Sony Bend is doing layoffs. Okay, so the other one that I sent you before
Yeah.
started. Cool, that's fine. No, I didn't want to click on an ad. So Sony Bend made Days Gone, which was their generic zombie game about a dude on a motorcycle. And the reason I brought this one up is because they had to as the article says, Sony Bend Studio has reportedly cut an unknown number of contractors following the cancellation of its live service game. Well, I think that this whole generation, like the PS5 generation, has been a big waste of time for Sony because, was it Mark Cerny at the beginning? Somebody important at Sony at the beginning of the console generation, like when the PS5 was dropping, said by 2026 we're going to have 13 live service games, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because every one of those games is fighting for your time. They want to be the only game you play. So
And they're competing with each other, which is just shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah. So you're going to make 12 games that are all trying to compete with each other. One of them worked. Helldivers 2 was one of the ones on that list. Helldivers worked. Concord was one of the ones on that list. Concord didn't work. Foam Stars didn't work. Destruction All-Star Racing.
Foam Stars is the Splatoon knockoff, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Destruction All-Stars, I think is what it was called. It was like a PS5 launch title. That one didn't work. There was gonna be they announced some of the ones that they canceled. They canceled one from Bend Studio. There was gonna be a live service God of War game. There was gonna be a live service Spider-Man game about the Spider-Verse. There was gonna be which I think could have worked, but I digress. There was gonna be a live service Horizon game about like the settlers and stuff, like about rebuilding societies. And there was going to be a live service
Horizon Farmville.
There was I hope Bend cut the guy who directed Days Gone and threw a hissy fit. Oh yeah, he was so mad that that Deacon St. John, Deacon St. John, I think was the name of the protagonist, that he was in Astrobot. He was like, my guy's cool and tough and drives a motorcycle. Why'd you put him on a dinky little robot in a nothing game that nobody liked? And then that game went on to win Game of the Year. I hope, God, I'm actually kind of happy that he was mad about it. I'm not gonna lie. Some people just need that slap in the face of like, oh, this game you didn't like was way more popular than your game, and I would never begrudge anybody's art. I'm sure he was really passionate about Days Gone, but his reaction to a smaller game that he didn't like doing better was not cool.
Yeah, no.
But yeah.
Just because your journey fantasies didn't work out for other people doesn't mean you have to take it out on a little robot.
Exactly. So yeah, that's another big layoff happening. And I'm curious about so all of these big studios, like I say that the PS5 era has been a waste of time because all of these studios have been working on live service games that are now like going down the drain. They're now being canceled. How many years, how much money has been wasted? How much of people's time has been wasted on these games that could have been going towards, like, would we have gotten Insomniac's Wolverine game by now if Sony didn't also say, hey, half of your staff needs to be working on a live service Spider-Man game? I don't know how it would have played out differently, but like, would we have gotten more?
But is Wolverine also live service?
No, that one is not live service. I think there was. So again,
it would have been really funny if it was though.
Again, I don't like talking about all of the big leaks and stuff because I don't think people's work should be seen before it's done like that. But in the Insomniac leaks, it mentioned that, like, the Wolverine game was supposed to lead into a larger X-Men game. And I don't want to think the X-Men game could have been live service, but I wouldn't be surprised if they tried that. I think Spider-Man 1 would have been cool, but yeah, like, you make your own Spider-Sona, and it's just the same, like...
DCU,
Yeah, like, you make your own spider person and you're swinging around. Like, I think it could have worked, and it was even teased in Spider-Man 2. Like, there's a side quest in Spider-Man 2 where it just opens up the, like, hexagonal web-shaped portal from the animated movies, and, like, basically they're like, oh, look, the games are tied to the movies because all the Spider-Verses are connected. That must be why there's no Spider-Man 2 DLC? 100%. There was some side quest stuff in Spider-Man 2 where I was like, this feels, I see the line. This feels like what is going to be the DLC. And then it could have been for a Venom game that they were planning, but then the actor who played Venom passed away. I don't know.
oh no.
Yeah, it was Tony Todd, who was like the original Candyman from the 90s. Yeah, no. He's such a great actor. He's at the new Indiana Jones game. He's at, like, in the first 10 minutes of that game, he shows up, and I was playing it, like, in my own time, and I was like, is that Tony Todd? And he turned around, because I heard his voice. I'm like, that's very familiar. He turned around, and I was like, yeah, that's Tony Todd. They could still do Carnage. Yeah, I thought the Carnage stuff was going to be the DLC, and then I was like, oh, no DLC, because live service bullshit? Maybe for Venom 2, and then Venom passed away. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Sony Bend is another studio with layoffs. I'm gonna close, another, see what opens up. GTA 6 at $100. Did I send you this article?
No.
Alright, let me,
I do remember I sent the little YouTube short, but...
yeah, I found an article talking about it. So this is kind of a big thing that was talked about a lot last month, was the projections from insider specialists about the possible pricing of GTA 6. And if we go pound for pound with how much the GTA games have cost over the years versus how much they were selling them for, this game is going to be making $1 billion anyway. Like, people are so hyped for GTA 6, even if it was still at a standard $60, $70 price range, it would still make so much money. But if GTA 6 is $100, better be able to feel like I'm in Florida. Ideal movie Florida, not actual Florida. Also, like, the Florida Project, which was still... The Florida Project was a good movie, however, it did have a very, purposefully grungy feel. Anyway, I don't know how to feel about this, because, like, you mentioned in our little, chat in the server about, like, where we post all these links and stuff when we're getting ready for these streams, you mentioned that there was, that poll a couple years ago asking people, how much would you pay for GTA 6? And
yeah, there was like a little thing like on Twitter. It's just like asking people like, oh, how much would you pay for GTA 6? And I was just like, would you pay, you know, what's the standard in the US, $60? It's like, would you pay $70? And there's a lot of idiots in the comments being like, I'd pay $100. I just want to play it.
Yeah.
Like, don't
give them that.
Don't give them that. Okay, also to put things into perspective for anybody who's not in the United States of fuck, because oh my fuck, Jesus Christ, American money's worth so much. Uh, if it sells for like $100, so we'll say $99.99 or whatever, it'll be $145.59 in Canada's Monopoly money. With tax, that's 160. With like my just rough estimate of tax, that's like $164.51, 52 cents.
Jesus. Almost
$200 for one game.
$160.
That's half of a console. I could buy another Switch with like 2 of those.
There's another like gaming podcast that I like that I listen to just to give me some ideas about like what is big news, and then I do my own research. I go and find articles. But somebody on there was talking about like I have my income from my job, and every month I do say I'm going to spend X amount of money on games this month because that's my job. We are a gaming studio, gaming company that talks about this stuff. But $100 for GTA 6, I would have to save up for a couple months, and would I want to buy GTA 6 for $100 or save up that money and buy a couple games that I want to play instead?
Yeah, I also like what Toaster said, would pay $30 in 2 years. Yeah, because the price will inevitably go down later on in life.
Yep.
Unless it's because it's not Nintendo, so it will. Another thing, thinking about like, saving up all this money and stuff like that I kind of want to interject. It's one of those things I saw on UFD, but I didn't share it because I was like late at night and I didn't really see the connection until now because I'm stupid. So there's like that whole tariffs thing, and not to get too deep into politics and like, adding tariffs on this company, that company, this, that, China, Canada, whatever. So that means your graphics processors are going to cost more. So, because a lot of that stuff is not made in the United States. So for gaming PCs, you're going to want to buy, I guess, in-house stuff. But the thing is I don't think there's a lot of those facilities for like Nvidia. I think Intel was the only ones that had in-house processor or in-house like chip making stuff that I remember UFD saying. But it means consoles are going to be more expensive. It means gaming PCs are going to be more expensive for the United States. Even like, shipping, I don't know if they make Nintendo Switches, but even the Switch 2 could end up being more expensive. I don't really know exactly how it's going to work, but it's just kind of something to keep an eye on. If you live in the United States, is like, a lot of that stuff's going to cost a lot more because the companies are going to have to charge a lot more because they're importing these chips for their tech and they have to pay all this money on it. So until they create, and a lot of places aren't even really going to want to create like a whole facility just to process it in one country, right? Especially if they're like super global, like Nvidia.
Yeah.
So it's something.
I've always used the example of like if a company raises the price of bread by like $1 and then people still buy bread, why would they ever lower the price again? They'd look around, people are still buying bread, right? And now bread is just $1 more. And with all these tariffs going up, making games in the States is about to become way more expensive, and consumers are gonna have to eat those costs to keep these companies.
I'm wondering how that'll work digitally though, because you need to pay for all of these, for example, computer materials to do all of your programming and your art and yada yada and your testing on and stuff like that. So I guess that's where a lot of the cost would come from. But that would still probably impact the prices of games. And because not a lot of places does what's not even regional pricing, but how Pirate Software lowers the price of his games in Brazil because of that. Majority of companies do not do that. So that's gonna impact, people are just gonna stop buying American-made games if that happens too, because it's just why would I pay $90 for this live service game that'll go down in a year when I could pay for, I don't know, even Ubisoft, I guess, if they make it in France. I don't know. I just feel like it's going to impact gaming a lot bigger than we realize right now.
Yes, and I mean it's gonna impact things like that across any industry that uses technology in that way, like prices are just going to go up because we are way more reliant on foreign imports than people like to admit. I'm not going to name names. Like you said, don't want to get too political, but like in terms of just the gaming market, yeah, it's going to become more expensive to make games, which means that games are going to cost more from these companies, and
then living outside the state is going to avoid U.S. products because it's like, why would I pay? I don't know. Like, for example, Ontario tomorrow is going to have every bit of American alcohol removed from all of the liquor store shelves. All of it. Gone. Absolutely gone. Just completely gone. But also, at the same time, why am I gonna go buy, like, whiskey, like Jack Daniels whiskey for, like, I don't know, let's say, how much is a 40 of that stuff? Or, like, a 2.6 of that stuff? I don't know. Let's say it's, like, $30 for a 2.6, right? When I could get, like, you know, some scotch from Scotland or something for, like, pretty much the same price now because of these tariffs, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just, like, people are going to go elsewhere, so not only is it going to affect... If outsiders buy American, it's going to affect how Americans, you know, have to buy even in their own country. I don't know. It's just not going to be a good time, and I'm a little worried about it.
I see that here it is. The reason why this is gonna hurt more than just like with GTA 6, or, you know, even putting aside how much more expensive it is going to be to make games. The inside reporter that IGN is talking to here says that game makers hope that GTA 6 will be priced at $80 to $100, breaking the $70 standardized barrier and helping $50 titles move up to $60, $60 to move up to $70, $70 to $80, and so on. The issue then comes into play of what even qualifies as, like, AA games no longer exist. So what now qualifies as AAA indie game? Like, some $60 games shouldn't even be priced at that. And if they can get away with now being priced at $70, that is wildly not worth it. GTA, I would argue, given that given the pricing of like GTA 5 at launch, GTA 4 at launch, with inflation, with the cost, the reported budget of GTA 6, $90, from what I understand, is actually a fair price for what GTA 6 is, for how much time was put into
replayability, the online, just how much time that people actually play it as well. It's almost worth it on the player end. Even though I'm not a GTA fan, like the friends that I had that are, they'll just like boot it up and go flying in a helicopter, and they'll do this and they'll do that, and there's just like a whole bunch of like, you know, no two playthroughs are the same, because one time you like blow up this guy, the other time you actually rescue him. I don't fucking, you know what I mean? Like there's just
there's
so much to do in them that it almost feels worthwhile, but I don't think you really should be giving the company that, because it's just going to push the envelope for the other companies that don't make shit like that.
But this is tough because GTA 6 is such an incredible outlier. Like nobody wants to compete with GTA 6 because GTA 6 is going to make all the money in the world. We didn't even have a new Grand Theft Auto game during the last console generation, and because it was like a PS3 360 game originally, and then it got ported.
We didn't have the Kingdom Hearts either.
Yeah, we did. Kingdom Hearts 3.
No.
Kingdom Hearts 3, Melody of Memory.
They skipped the PlayStation. They skipped the PlayStation 3 though.
I'm talking about the PS4 generation is what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, fair. No, but I'm just saying they did skip the console generation themselves.
Well, I mean, at that point they were on handheld consoles.
That don't matter.
How dare you say that about Birth by Sleep?
They have a Stitch World. They're fine.
And I mean, I liked Dream Drop Distance, but that
I loved Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah,
but it's still like a spin-off title.
It's literally
not even a spin-off. It's in between, like.
Yeah, I was about to say it's not really a spin-off, because in my mind, spin-off can like be ignored for the main story. And
358 and Recoded are probably spin-offs, right?
Well, I would even argue that like 358 Days isn't a spin-off, because it's important to even understand who the hell Roxas is. Like,
yeah, I mean, you do get like they do at least give you a little bit of that in Kingdom Hearts 2, from what I remember.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you're in that scene with, like, Axel and Sora starts crying. Oh, that hurt.
But
You know, they kind of give you, like, a little bit of it, but that's just, like, everything about Roxas coming to be and stuff, right?
mm-hmm.
So you could still technically skip it.
Anyway, my issue, no, it's okay. My issue with all this is that everybody like can come to the consensus that yeah, GTA is possibly worth this. However, GTA is a once in a console generation type of game. Like it is, their Rockstar does like lightning in a bottle. Like they didn't have a new Grand Theft Auto for like the PS4, Xbox One generation, but they did have Red Dead Redemption 2. And Red Dead Redemption 2, everybody fucking loved Red Dead Redemption 2 when that came out. That was like, if that had been $70 back when games were still $60, that probably would have been incredibly justified. But they ate the cost on that and were selling it for less than they made it for. And they still made a lot of money off it.
I'm sitting here like, what are you talking about? What do you mean $70? There's $79.99 here.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. I get it. The AAA's price, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, they were if they had charged current prices for the game then in 2018. Oh god, GTA or not Red Dead Redemption 2 was 7 years ago. Oh man. Yeah, no, like this is just a scary slippery slope because you're going to give this is a scary slippery slope because if you give people the go ahead, they're going to start charging prices for games that aren't worth it, you know?
Yeah, and that's the thing, like once you've already purchased the game, like it's too late, right? You can't really decide if it's worth it or not, and then all you have is a bunch of like, you know, critics that are paid to say it's good if they can. Most of them can't get past that one boss to even get to the DLC, but I mean, I digress. They shouldn't really be believed in anyway. Like that offices had to have that Elden Ring guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had to have at least one Elden Ring guy. Like, come on, man. But I don't know. It's just like all of these games that aren't worth AAA title price, and that they're going to be like pushing that price up. I don't know. I just kind of hope it comes crashing down on them, not even to the suffering of the devs, but just so that they learn a lesson. But the thing is that devs and like the smaller people who are actually putting time and effort into these are going to suffer for it, right?
Yeah, it's the thing is there are smaller games like Hades 2. It's in early access, but it's not at the threshold AAA price. It's what, like 40-50 USD, I think, for Hades 2. I know it's early access, but like that is still I'm gonna wait till the full release before I get it. But like that's a really good that's a really good price for a great game. Astrobot Game of the Year was $40 USD, and it was more than worth it. And again, don't want to give.
I can check.
Don't want to give devs this is 30 USD unless they went up in price.
38.99, so probably about 30
USD.
Yeah.
Astrobot was 40 USD, and again, not to give developers this idea, but I would have paid more for it. It's such a solid game. Like that's what I would pay the AAA price for, is a game like Astrobot, not a game like Cock of Duty.
The tricky thing too. That's the tricky thing too. Is like when you're Cock of Duty, you are literally cocky and yada yada yada. But when you're just like a small passion team, you want to be very humble because you don't want to be like, oh, I know my game is worth $70, because that's not going to look good, and a lot of people aren't going to like that about you, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you can't come out of nowhere and say, I'm a AAA thing, and if you price at a AAA price when you're just an indie studio, but at the same time, you can't sell yourself short. It's tricky, right? Blasted one.
I would say that games like, I would say GTA 6, Elden Ring, and Baldur's Gate 3 are games that could justifiably charge more for their game, but didn't. Or at least two of them didn't. We don't know what GTA 6's price is going to be. But if you give people this leeway, games that aren't worth that, the new Assassin's Creed, the new Call of Duty, some other the new FIFA. Oh my god. Being able to charge $100 for FIFA that people are going to spend hundreds on monthly anyway in microtransactions. Like, these games are not worth that much, but they're gonna slip through. These games are going to slip through that and start charging that much if they are given the opportunity.
The thing is that GTA can probably justify it, and it's like,
Mhm.
you know what? All the effort and what you're getting out of it is worth it, but it's a thing because like they know they can't compete with it. They know that their game isn't going to be anything even like GTA 5.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like this should be it should be an outlier, not setting the status quo. But they're going to make it so that
Yep. And that's the thing. You have these outliers, but these outliers are financially successful and make all the money in the world. Like it took me a while to get on the bandwagon, but like I get Baldur's Gate 3. I love that game. It's normally it's not quite the kind of thing that I like. But like that game in particular just has so much content. I was playing with a friend of mine who had played that game like 5 times already. We were playing co-op and I just wandered off and did something else and he was like, I didn't even know this section was over here. I didn't even know that, like, he had played through the game so much, and like somebody who had never played it before wandering through found shit he didn't. That game
Did you blow anything up?
We started a fight indoors, and the people we were fighting were like, if that's how it's gonna be, and they ran outside, and we were like, that's probably fine. We finished fighting the people inside, and when we went outside, the entire town had been slaughtered.
Oh.
Yeah.
In that section that you found, or different?
In the section that we found was basically a note saying, it was basically like a secret rendezvous point, and it was basically saying like, hey, the person in charge of the first town you get to, she's evil. So we went and confronted her, and she was like, nuh-uh, and then we started, the other evil people showed up, and they were like, yeah, she's with us, and she's like, bro, what the fuck, why would you out me like that? And we started a fight. We hit, she was basically like, okay, I'll turn on the bad guys if you don't turn me in. So she was supposedly like on our side, but we were like, nah, fuck that. So we attacked her, and the other people who were good didn't like that. And they were like, so that's how it's going to be. And then they went out and killed everybody, even though they were supposed to be good guys. We went out there and like everybody was dead. And we were like, oh, so this is kind of a scuffed run, huh? I guess we're just killing everybody, huh?
Yeah.
Like, for anybody who's played Baldur's Gate 3, we slaughtered Last Light In. There were no survivors. It's basically the one save point in an entire area of the air is poison damage.
Yeah.
It's like the one area that doesn't hurt you, and we killed everyone.
That's worse than the floor is lava.
Yeah, no, it was a good time. So yeah.
I just found this in the recommendations for the Trump tariffs thing. So like we already did discuss it, but that's something we can just post for people to look at later.
Yeah, for sure. I'll keep that.
I'll just post it now, since it's there, and we're not going to talk about it anyway. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna click out of this again and open up another. All right, the Switch 2. The Switch 2. I think this is one of the ones that I sent you.
I've grabbed a bunch of them from the chat, so don't worry about it. I grabbed like most of them.
Kitty Meow Meow Cat redeemed fish. What are we catching? Oh yeah, Mew, I don't know if you've seen this, but I have fishing now on my...
Oh yeah, no, I did see it.
Cool.
As a fish, I don't know if I should partake.
The Black Red Eye and Engineering Madness redeemed read a magic card. All right.
Red Eye's Black Dragon? I thought Red Eyes looks a little different. I think you got a knockoff card.
Yeah, that was the Black Eye Red Dragon. For the day,
I'm a catfish.
I fish up a catfish. It's like wearing the Groucho Marx glasses with the mustache and the fake glasses and stuff, because you're being catfish. 1, 2, 3. All right, Madness. You get Moonrise Cleric, which is a shiny bat from Bloomborough. 3-drop for 1 colorless and either 2 white, 2 black, or any combination thereof. This is a 2/3 bat cleric with flying, and whenever Moonrise Cleric attacks, you gain 1 life. I like how the bats. I like the bats in Bloomborough. I like their art a lot. Actually, I ran pretty deep in a draft. I went to 2 different Bloomborough drafts because I really liked the set. The second one I went to, I ran the black white bats, and I did pretty well. I like the bats. Wait, everything that's been drawn in like the last couple days for Read a Magic card has been white or black. We have 2 white cards, we have a swamp, and now we have the Moonrise Cleric. Cool. Alright, yeah, who are you? Who are you?
I'm your father.
I don't even... I don't even recognize you. It covers the eyes. That's so funny.
I was hoping they had the fucking the nose one, but they didn't.
Damn. You look like you're about to tell me you're disappointed.
In myself, son. Only in myself.
Alright, yeah, we got the Switch 2 announcement. And there was that Mario Kart game that's coming out for it. Hooray! People have been calling it Mario Kart 9. When Mario Kart Grand Prix came out, which is the mobile app, Nintendo called that one Mario Kart 9. So I don't know if they're walking that back, or if this is actually going to be Mario Kart 10 and people forgot about the app. Not supposed to talk to strangers, and nobody is stranger than Fisk.
Me.
Yeah, so...
It's too late now.
Beyond just the big news that we got a Nintendo Switch 2, other executives... What the fuck? Alright, I accidentally clicked on the article, and it linked me to the same article.
Yeah, no, I literally just did that like 30 seconds ago. If you click on the title, it'll just link you back to it.
So the Sony PlayStation boss Sean Layden, who I think stepped down in like 2020. Thinking of Herman Holst, who we'll get to Herman in a few minutes. Okay, I'm looking at the time. It's been like an hour, and we've gotten through what, 4 articles. We have a lot to cover. Basically, Sean Layden, and later down the line, Phil Spencer was recently talking about the Switch 2, and everybody's saying that it was a very smart move for them to call it the Switch 2 because of brand recognition, which you think would have helped them for the Wii U, but didn't. They should have called it the Wii 2.
They could have named it something like, I don't know, Dom and Sub or something, because you can switch roles, whatever.
Hey, Blair.
Hide now. That was bad. I didn't think that one through.
All good.
I'm embarrassed now. I hide behind mustache.
They could have called it a shitbox. It's Nintendo. They have brand. You're right. I think they didn't want a Wii U disaster.
I was about to say, that's not Blair. There's a Blair. It's just a different Blair. Hi, other Blair.
Yeah, Blair Bear, I think she showed up when I started Recom last week. Yeah.
I played Com, but not Recom, so I don't want spoilers.
I think...
Even though I watched all of those scenes in Japanese with English subtitles because they never released it, because we had crushes on every single Kingdom Hearts character.
I think legitimately I think the difference is that in Recom for the,
Oh, hi, other Blair. Other Blair. Or are you the original Blair?
I think...
You have to fight for the title now.
I think Recom in the, final mix, like the Recom final mix... I think that one is where they included the Riku story, but I never played original Recom. I played Recom when it was in the collection on PS3, and that went... I liked it then, and then
yeah.
I
think the Game Boy one has a lot of charm, being a totally different and not 3D style.
Yeah, I think
it's like worth it, especially since you can just emu on GBA now.
Yeah, and I might... Actually, I don't need to emu because I now have a device that plays...
Do you have the GBA?
I have
game,
I
though?
I have a device that plays GBA games. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to
Oh,
buying a
you have like
copy.
one of those little boxes
I have a box
that
that
like
plays
can
GBA.
emulate.
Doesn't emulate.
Uh,
It plays physical Game Boy games, Sega Genesis games, NES games,
yeah,
and SNES games.
yeah. There's like other boxes that do that too, but I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to buying like a copy. The issue is, yeah, all good, Blair. I appreciate lurks. It's called like the Retron 5 or something. The only thing is it had to be updated, and the only way to update it, because they're trying to avoid the internet and like getting caught being like third party like hardware, is you have to put the update on like an SD card and then plug that into the console. Yeah, so there's like a weird workaround. Anyway, yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about like the Nintendo Switch 2 getting announced. But I thought it was more interesting that other people from other companies were like, actually, it's a smart move for them just to call it the Switch 2, because it, like the PlayStation things, it doesn't offer heading gnome now. Blair's apparently heading gnome.
No.
Yeah. All right, Blair. Thanks for hanging out.
The only thing I think of when I hear the word gnome is the Oxhorn thing, which is ancient YouTube history at this point.
I may or may not recognize it if I saw it, but the name's not ringing a bell.
I hate gnomes. It's a joy of punting gnomes. It's a thing. I'll send it to you later.
All right. Yeah, but brand value, but
Back when X-Fire existed.
But Toaster's right, they could have called it fucking anything. Oh yeah.
I just didn't believe it because I've never done it before. And I don't believe leaks.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was saying, like, for a while that, like, it would be dumb if they called it the Switch 2, and then they did. Egg on my face. I'm willing to say it. I'm willing to say that I was wrong. So Sega wants to make a Game Pass.
Persona. Well, do you want like a pass to the creator of jazz or not? Persona created jazz music, don't you know that?
Oh yeah, apparently they created jazz. So like, I understand the thought process here, because Sega also said recently that with Sonic, Persona, and Yakuza, which are three very successful companies that they will generate a certain amount of money, they're able to now funnel some of those funds into more dormant franchises, Crazy Taxi, Jet Set, Virtua. Like, they're able to bring back some of their older franchises, so I get it, where they're like, okay, we are in a stable, comfortable place now. You know, it's been decades since we exited the console market. Like, if we're just focusing on creating our game, developing and publishing just games, we have powerhouse games like Persona, and Yakuza is incredibly consistent. Yakuza, of these three franchises, I'm so surprised Yakuza is the one that has had like extremely consistent and solid releases, because Sonic will release like one good game, one game that people will eventually say like it wasn't as bad as people say it was, but that's a whole thing. I know we go down this rabbit hole all the time, but I think the bottom line is neither of us have played enough to competently speak on Sonic. I just watch my partner play the games and she loves them, and then you just hear that everybody hates them.
Yeah. I the only thing I really hear is this Sonic game sucked, that Sonic game sucked, but people still love them, I guess. Which is a thing, but it's just like, oh yeah, this open world Sonic fell flat in so many ways, because this is all you do, and then this one was bad, or we haven't had a good Sonic game since Sonic Adventure 2, and then people who are just like, 3D Sonic sucks, and that's all I fucking hear about
because
it.
From what I understand, like the whole, and again, I don't want to go down this fucking rabbit hole, but the whole fandom is just so divided about what makes or breaks a Sonic game, because I watched my partner play Sonic Frontiers, and that game was good. But people don't want to admit that 3D Sonic can be good. I played Sonic X Shadows Generations from last year.
I would say 3, because there's the Sonic fans who are also just there for the inflation fetish.
As a Sonic fan, I'm here for the movies. I think the movies are fun.
Is the third one out already?
Yep, it came out October or November.
Ooh, let's see if it's on my uncle's box and we'll watch it.
Yeah. I I went to a fan event for it where it was like premiere. So I went to a fan event where it was premiered a day early, and like I got a poster. My partner got like a bunch of keychains and stuff. Actually, hang on. This is a cool poster. Hang on. Who's poster?
Oh, edgy.
Yeah. I think it's reversed for you, but
Yeah.
no. So it says Sonic 3.
Shadow.
Yeah. It says
Shadow. Shadow's a hedgehog.
yeah, it just says Shadow the Hedgehog, but in fucking katakana.
Katakana is really tricky because especially when it comes to wase ego and stuff like that, or if it's a word you don't know, like that one should have been obvious. But if it's not as obvious, you have to like literally sound it out and speak it to yourself until it actually starts to sound like English.
Arrow. That too. I always forget about the horny. Unfortunately, yes. But no, I'm literally here for Keanu Reeves with a gun. But like, this is just John Wick persona. And
If you ever have time sometime and like you're in a Discord call and you're bored, you should go to like the fucking Sonic, the fan-made Sonic character wiki. There's characters that are just named Paul and like they smoke cigarettes and stuff, and it's just like kids making these things and actually like putting them on a wiki or something, and it's just so fucking funny, dude. They're either the edgiest thing known to man, or it's just so silly.
People there's a very common thing where people are like, oh, just Google your name, the Hedgehog.
Yeah, that.
Here's the thing. Silver the Hedgehog is already a fucking character. That's just a real
Shadow
guy
with longer hair or something. Yeah.
No, he's from the future and he wears like laser bracelets or something.
Silver and he's got like longer hair and yeah I've seen him before.
He's from like 06 or something, but the only franchise I never forget about the horny is Overwatch and Marvel Rivals fans. Oh my god.
Overwatch revolutionized 3D porn.
It did. It really did. It's incredible what people will set their mind to. Anyway,
I'd explain how I know that, but nobody would believe me.
Oh, good. Welcome back, Blair. Do you have anything to say about any thoughts on Sega subscription service?
They're not really like a console maker anymore, and I don't know, banking on 3 successful things, I would just buy the 3 successful things individually. It's the same reason kind of like why I don't pay for Xbox, but Xbox has a lot more to it, right? Yeah. Like, it doesn't seem worthwhile. It doesn't seem worth it. Like, if I want to play Persona, I'm just gonna buy Persona. I don't really want to pay for Persona because the sexism and shit, but like, if I want to play it, I'll just play that, right?
I was saying yesterday on stream that I think this is what's going to happen with Xbox. Like, they keep saying there is going to be another Xbox generation. Oh god, excuse me. Oh, there's like an air bubble right in my lung. Or right in my like esophagus. I think legitimately this is what Xbox is going to come to, though, is just a subscription service on other platforms. Or they're going to become like Sega and just solely work on, you know, their games and distributing games to other platforms. If Xbox...
I don't like the sound of that. What do you mean I have to pay? Like, Persona's like a long game. Yakuza series is a long game.
Oh yeah, you're going to be...
And if you don't have the time for it, you're going to be paying so much more than the game's priced at or the game's worth. And if, like, you know, that's kind of like if that's like a forced objective... Like, it's not even live service, you know what I mean? It's not like you're paying to play WoW or FF14. I don't know,
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of this either. Personally, I'm so tired of subscription services. I just want a physical game. I just want to hold a physical game. I want to, you know, give my currency, receive my game. God, what was it? What company was it that had the, like, game sharing meme against another? Some company was like, oh, you can set up this thing to share your games with other people, and it was like you got to go into the settings, set up a friends and family plan, and then another company was like, here's how you share games on our console, and it was just it was a console. It was like Xbox trying to prevent, or Nintendo trying to prevent something, or maybe some console was like, here's how you share games on our console, and it was just somebody handing a physical game to somebody else.
Yeah.
Whole list. Oh God.
I can send it to you later.
That's right. It was Xbox's DRM thing. But
oh God.
But even still, the PS3's DRM program was also like Sony's like lockout program to like keep people from the architecture of the PS3 is so fucking bad.
You can't even stream on the PS3 without like a whole bunch of other shit.
You can't.
You can't just plug it into an HDMI and have it capped because of that shit.
You need one of these.
Really weird.
You need one, which you can't see because it's black on black. But this is an HDMI splitter. You need one of these. You need.
Yeah.
You need this. You need so much crap to stream from a PS3. Believe me, I know. Anyway, Sega. Larian gives ball in Big Naturals. Withers
best news all night.
Withers Big Naturals. Basically, Larian has a
Rest in class.
Larian has a curated list of mods from creators where they're like, hey, if you want to mod Baldur's Gate, here's our recommended list. We didn't make these, but these are really cool mods created by the community. And in celebration of 100 million mods, they added Withers Titties to that list. That's it. That's the whole thing, is they're like Withers boobs.
Withers boobs. It's newsworthy.
Yeah.
It's not even on a sticky note, it's an actual article.
Yeah.
It's important. Look at them.
Computer enhance.
He doesn't have any meat on his bones except for those.
Yeah, where do you think he allocated it all to?
Yeah. This is what makeup companies and fashion companies want you to look like, by the way.
Sorry, gamers, but this is peak physical. What's the fucking?
This is what peak male physique looks like.
Sorry, gamers.
Human physique.
Peak humanoid. Withers ain't a person no more. Withers.
Wow.
So Withers.
Wow, is that discrimination?
No, Withers is actually
he's a person if he wants to be.
No, Withers is actually a demigod. Withers is like an eternal being. Like you.
Wow, spoilers.
He's been in every Baldur's Gate game since like the first one.
I've never played a Baldur's Gate game.
When you find him in Baldur's Gate 3, like you can ask him like, "What are you?" He's like, "I have always been." You can ask, "Are you going to elaborate?" No. I love Withers.
Wait, do you remember the butthole chart?
Yes, beef jerky.
Yeah, his is gourmet. Withers butthole's gourmet.
I wanted to forget.
Not as long as I'm around.
I wanted to forget.
To be fair, that's the only butthole rating I remember is Withers was gourmet. It had like, size on whether it was like tight or gaping. It had like scent on whether they're like well washed or like stanky, and then it had like the taste, and it was just like a whole fucking chart. For people that don't know, this is why I'm explaining it. For people that don't know, and it's on Twitter and it's pretty easy to find. I can post it in shitposting later, but yeah, somebody. This is how weird fans can get about things, is they just create like a butthole chart in how they think different characters' buttholes would be. And
please do post that, because when I first saw it, I had not played the game yet, so I didn't know who any of these characters were.
Now you wanna cross-reference if it's right.
now I need to know what actually people are thinking, because I know these characters now, because I remember seeing them like, oh,
I found it.
that's the sexy vampire guy people love, which passed me by.
So, don't forget to join the Discord. It is in the shitposting channel.
Yes,
if you want to,
yeah, the Discord
cross-reference your own experiences with these characters.
Yeah, the Discord server has go live notifications. The Discord server votes on games that I play. God of War 3 just won the Thursday vote.
Over Bug's Life.
Over Hollow Knight.
Fucking Bug's Life.
Over Hollow Knight. I specifically
Isn't Hollow Knight just Bug's Life? If you get right down to it.
It's Bug's death.
Oh, true. It's Bug's death.
Bug's life and Bug's death. Yeah, and also all the things that we are talking about, like all the articles that I have up on screen, all of these will end up over in the Discord server. Either me will post them or I will post them. Usually, like, I wait till after stream and then just, like, dump them all at once.
We do not have a dedicated buttholes channel, though, so please do not post actual buttholes. Charts are fine as long as there's no buttholes. We can talk about buttholes, but we can't post images of buttholes.
I have a video.
I just wanted to make that clarification.
I have a video I need to send, or maybe I'll put it in shit posting later. Anyway, first party PlayStation game will reportedly be inspired by Smash Bros. So the reason why this is so funny to me, first of all, they've tried it. We know they've tried it. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale did not do well. But I've been saying since the PS4 that now they have enough first-party franchises and recognizable characters, I think it could work. And this is being developed by Bungie. I think my exact words in the mod chat when this was dropped, or I think I posted this just to say this, wasn't on my bucket list for 2025. Yup. It's just called Project Gummy Bears, by the way. It's just called Project Gummy Bears. No idea what it's supposed to be. It's going to be a MOBA title inspired by Smash Brothers. I don't know what that means, but it's being made by Bungie.
So it's PlayStation All, so it's like it's like Heroes of the Storm, I guess, where it's just the franchises fighting each other.
Maybe
in a MOBA.
Astrobot versus Kratos, bring it on. Honestly,
Smash Brothers probably revolutionized gaming crossovers.
Yes, and I think they
especially ones that weren't necessarily all in-house, like, Solid. Like, a lot of people thought that, well, why did they put Solid Snake? Well, Solid Snake was Metal Gear was originally, like, for the NES and SNES, I believe. I don't remember which one, but, it's originally NES titles. And then they moved away from specifically Nintendo to just icons of gaming.
Yeah.
Right? So this might be something like that.
But the thing that's really funny to me is that it's by Bungie. So if you had, like, when the original PlayStation All-Stars came out in 2011, if you had told me that the Halo studio was going to make Smash Brothers for PlayStation, this is such a weird timeline. This is such a weird turn of events, just with how the years of... First of all, I feel really bad for Bungie, because they're stuck making live service games. Guaranteed this is probably going to be a live service project, but, there are developers at Bungie who are like, I want to make anything other than Destiny. I'm so tired of Destiny. I want to make things other than Destiny 2 stuff, but Astrobot...
You mean everybody at Activision? That's it.
You mean
Activision?
What about Activision? What?
Because I don't want to make Call of Duty anymore. I don't know. I feel like they feel the same over there.
I mean, what they're doing with those companies, though, is basically, any small company that they buy up will get to make, one or two more games, and then they'll get ushered over to... that's what happened with Toys for Bob. Toys for Bob made, Crash Insane Trilogy, Spyro Insane Trilogy, or Spyro Reignited Trilogy, Crash 4, and then they were working on Crash 5 as a crossover with Spyro, and then they were like, now that's enough. Oh no, there was the live service Crash Bandicoot game that didn't do well, Wumpa League or whatever.
Wasn't that also a MOBA?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the last we saw of anything Spyro.
Once we hit 2016, we entered the Twilight Zone. 100%. 2016, a bunch of, like, celebrities died, and I was like, oh, this is, like, what's happening? There's, like, David Bowie, Prince, like, we lost a whole bunch of people in 2016, and it was like, oh, no. And then it just kept getting worse. And then, like, when it's not worse, it's weird. Like, Halo Company making Smash for PlayStation. Like, now it's just weird. When it's not bad, but it's still bad. Anyway, I'm excited for Project Gummy Bears. I don't know what it's gonna be, because I don't know what a Smash Brothers MOBA is gonna look like, but...
I'll play it if it comes to PC. PlayStation's too expensive.
Bungie announced it was laying off 220 employees. That's a 17% reduction. That's another layoff from Sony. Hooray.
Hooray.
Ring the bell. I should have like a little bell. I ring it every time.
Ding.
Yeah. Like one of those like on a pirate ship, you know, you ring the bell like crazy to like wake people up.
Yeah.
Or like a little desk bell. Like
Yeah.
a little just ding. We got one. After shutting down the Wii U online services last year, Nintendo asked players not to use unauthorized services to replace them as they might pose a security risk. Shut up, Nintendo. You just don't want people to
Play old games.
Yeah. Because Nintendo, I've talked about this before, where Nintendo has just decided, like, we have a curated list of the games that we think are important, and they're available on our online service. If it's not there, you're not allowed to have them.
The other thing about the security risks is, like, I guess IP grabbing. I guess IP grabbing is a thing, but, like, if there's no shop, you can just remove all of your store info, so they can't get your credit card info, so I guess the only thing they could get is your IP, and if you run it through, like, the proper protections, they can't get your IP, so I don't know.
Yeah.
What would the security risks even be? Just remove your credit card from the shop that's defunct.
Yeah, they're basically asking people not to like 3DS and Wii U servers were shut down last April. They're just asking people, please don't jailbreak your old consoles for free stuff. Like, from a
Then make it available.
If you're an idiot, you'll download a virus trying to emulate a game. That's always a risk. True. And they...
A virus onto my Wii.
Yeah. Oh no, I guess I'll have to buy another Wii for, like, I think they're going for $40 is what I've seen Wii's for. Which,
it's not even bad.
Yeah, like, $40 for a console is crazy. Oh no, pushes jailbroken Wii U. I will say, looking back, there are some games I'm really mad I missed the Wii U. I did not get on that, and
I think that people who know how to jailbreak stuff know how to avoid viruses on their PC. You know what I mean? Like, if you have that knowledge, you already know what you're doing.
We should also say, for legal purposes, don't do it. Don't
do it.
We can't
stop you.
Yeah, but also we can't stop it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like my favorite Zelda game is. My favorite 3D Zelda game is Twilight Princess, and it got a, like, HD remaster that is now just trapped on the Wii U forever. Because they did, like, Skyward Sword remaster. Supposedly there's gonna be a, what's the other one that people... Wind Waker remaster for, like, the Switch 2 or something. I love Twilight Princess, and that one just doesn't get love. Gummy Sharks, nice. Trying to fight small mom-and-pop stores and losing is funny. Imagine trying to tell European people you can't call stuff Super Mario. Oh my god.
There was another one, like that. There was, God, it was Starbucks. But there was, like, somebody where it was, like, their last name, and people thought it was, like, a Starbucks or something like that, but it was really just his own shop, which was, like, a coffee shop or something. Like Kazakhstan or something? I don't know. Something similar.
Yeah, like somebody's name was a company, and they came after them, like, you can't call your place that. And it's like, that's my name. What else am I gonna call it?
Are you gonna pay for me to change my name? Like, I don't want to change my name.
Alright, so yeah, once again... Fuck Nintendo. So there are a couple... I've been thinking about this because I'm still boycotting playing Nintendo on my platform. Like, I don't... As excited as I am for, like, Pokemon Legends ZA, yeah, like, until the Pal World lawsuit shakes out. Until we see what happens there, I will not be playing Switch games, is how I'm going to, because I have, hang on.
What if they're not first-party Switch titles, but you already paid for them?
I mean, yeah.
You could just not mention that you're playing it on Switch or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I have Valhalla on Switch, for example, right? Like, if I were to stream that, I could just be like, yeah, I'm just playing Valhalla. I don't have to mention that. So, well, I don't know. You already paid for it, right? Like, you might as well.
Well, the reason why...
But it's it's a third-party game. It's not like you're playing Donkey Kong on stream.
Yeah, I'm not playing Donkey Kong at all. The reason why... I'm borrowing this from Patches. You had to,
oh my god.
You had to specifically...
Oh my god.
You had to specifically name drop Donkey Kong.
Oh my god. Okay, but can you play Elden Ring with them?
I would have to get an adapter to plug a Game Boy controller into my PC. I'd have to get all that, like...
And then you'd have to learn how to play Elden Ring.
Hey, I could play Elden Ring. I've played Elden Ring for like an hour.
Were you good?
Let's see...
you think you can do it with the Donkey Kong controller?
With the Donkey Konga bongos?
Yeah. I've seen videos of people like fucking wrecking shit with fucking DK bongos. I know there's a specific streamer that like plays Elden Ring with a like a fight stick with his feet. He plays it with like a driving wheel that has like the pedals and the stuff people do is crazy.
There was the bananas one where like each banana was like attached to a button prompt, so he was just slapping bananas.
Hell yeah.
Which, oh my god.
I do like to slap bananas. Don't ask what kind of bananas.
There was the Dance Dance Revolution dance mat. Somebody played through like Dark Souls 3 or something with the dance mat. Anyway, yeah, this is once again This feels more like a legal PSA that Nintendo is putting out to be like, hey, if you jailbreak our consoles, we can't guarantee your safety, so don't. But at the same time, like, people who know how to do that understand the risks. Pal World. I am so happy. Pal World developer Pocket Pair moves into publishing to release Tales of Kinsera's dev's next game. So
it's a horror game? Oh no.
The horror game published by Pocket Pair won't be a continuation of that universe, however.
Oh, okay. So if I want to get into the Tales, I can.
Yeah, Tales of Kinsera. Okay.
I know that Tales of Kinsera are like not horror, but if their follow-up game was going to be horror, it's just like, I don't want to get into that series now. I don't want to get attached and then have to play a horror game.
Yeah, so I did see another thing, a follow-up of this article. The head of Pocket Pair was like, when we opened up the publishing division, we weren't sure how it was going to be met. But my inbox has not been empty for like a week since then. Like, people have been asking, people are reaching out like they want to support us, which I do think they opened up the publishing division to help with legal fees against Nintendo. I hate putting on my tinfoil hat, but they need money right now, and this has been a very popular decision. This has been a very big and good thing for them.
Yeah.
But for people who know, Tales of Kinsera Zhao was like one of my indie darling of last year. It didn't win any awards, unfortunately, but I love.
I can't say anything against Nintendo right now because I'm literally just like, oh yeah, I'm buying the first limited edition Pokemon
Switch 2.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh yeah, Nintendo, don't buy Nintendo. Don't be. I guess I could say, don't be me.
What if you buy the Switch 2 and then like you get a notification on your phone, like that YouTube Shorts guy that you watch that has like the gaming news stuff, and
UFD Tech, yeah.
Yeah, what if you get like a notification of like a video of his and it just says, so yeah, to work at Nintendo, you have to kick a puppy. They have a new thing in place to where if you want to work at Nintendo, you have to kick a puppy. like hard, would you still buy the Switch 2?
Ooh, look, there's a lily pop at the park near me.
So you would then try to work at Nintendo.
No!
Okay.
No, I'd go catch the Lillipup and keep it safe by transferring it to the professor. Because I don't have box space.
Alright,
Admittedly, I would probably just play Pokemon Go, which isn't helping, so I might as well buy the Switch. I don't...
but yeah, like this...
I don't know. They had me by the proverbial balls. They've already twisted my nipples in ways that I can't describe. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Okay, so this is worth noting. So,
Thank you, Arrow. Thank you.
yeah, like two things can be true, but Nintendo or no release window or even a title was announced, so the project is presumably still a while from releasing. This is also separate from Project Uso, previously shared by Surgeon Studios. So Project Uso is the next Tales of Kansera game.
Uso, sorry, they're the Uso brothers from WWE.
Uso is the next Tales of Kansera game, and whatever they are publishing with Pocket Pair is a different game. So this will be their third announced game, but their second to release, because they're still looking
I hope they keep afloat. I hope they do.
I hope they do too. I'll say it every time. Abu Salim, the head of the studio, he's the only person I believed at that Game Award or like that opening night live, wherever it was, where people were like, I'm so excited to share this game with you.
Well, Valerian guy was there too. So, two people, I guess.
Yes, but he was accepting an award. He was not showing off a new game. But he
Oh yeah, true, but he was still speaking passionately,
yes,
so I believe his words
he was
as well. He just got chewed off stage.
He got ushered off the stage talking about my friends died to bring you this game, and he got fucking still mad about that. But yeah, when people
and then they made a joke out of all of us that were mad about it with the Muppets.
Yup. Which sucks because it's such a double-edged sword because it's hard to tell, like, okay, is this them like realizing their mistakes and kind of like trying to poke fun at themselves, like, oh yeah, the Muppets are gonna make fun of us because we do these things wrong. It's like, yeah, but that's not fixing the problem.
Well, what do you think Geoff Neely would do, or whatever his name is?
Jeff Keighley.
Jeff Wheely.
Joey Wheeler. Yeah, I think Jeff Keighley is incredibly tone deaf. I think he is as passionate about games as he claims to be. I genuinely think he is. But
now he's in a position of power, so...
Yes, I think he holds a lot of responsibility to a lot of people funding the game shows that he, or the Game Awards shows that he puts on, or like all of the video game shows that he puts on, because people pay a lot of money for those positions, so to keep things afloat, he has to sell space, he has to sell time, so he is also beholden to these people as well. I don't know, like, it's just the Game Awards this year felt good. I think it was paced really well. I think the announcements were good. Let's hear it for Okami 2. I think people were given enough time to speak, and I do like Muppets.
And for when I come back, I'm gonna play the first Okami, like, immediately, and then we'll mix some Hades in because I'm still not fucking done.
I have never played Okami myself, but it's one of my partner's favorite games. I've watched her play it, and oh my gosh, you know the woman who did Ghostwire Tokyo and then left to start her own company? I can't remember her name, but glasses. She's like really excited on stage. She like does poses and stuff. Do you remember who I'm talking about?
Kind of.
She's super energetic. Like, I love her energy on stage. But she's worked with the director of Okami 2 was the only title worth a damn. She worked with the director of the Okami games, and she tweeted out afterwards, she's like, I'd like to congratulate whoever, like, I'd like to congratulate whoever San on his graduation from unemployment. She's so great. They had an ad for
Also,
AICAS.
sorry, I got distracted by
Yeah, Nakamura. Yeah, Nakamura sounds right. But yeah, you got distracted.
oh, okay, yeah, I got distracted by one of the header titles on this IGN site. I could make fart fart booby fart the game, and it would eventually get taken down. Devs reveal why the consoles are drowning in e-slop.
In fucking slop. And
I
Risen
would play fart fart booby fart. What the fuck?
and Risen's also right. They had an ad for AI cats. We talked about that last month with Catly.
Yeah.
The people involved in making that game, like in the past, they have been involved in like NFT scams, AI bullshit. One of them, like, almost like one for one uses the same cat assets.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was like, oh, it's coming to like mobile stores, it's coming to console and the Apple Watch. Games don't release for the Apple Watch. What the fuck are you talking about? It's app.
That. Sorry. Continue.
No. I just absolutely think this AI Catly. I think Catly's a fucking AI scam.
Yeah. That just reminds me of the so I was looking at like little I was looking at this one site that has like kind of like games that are similar to other games on Steam recommendation thing, and I found a free game that's called Cats Fishing for Cats, and it's just an idle thing that you leave, and then you get trading cards, and you're supposed to sell those trading cards on the market, and the devs make a profit, and it's
Yup.
like a different form of NFT scan, but the NFT is just fucking Steam trading cards, which is really wild. I didn't know that existed. And
Yeah.
I was just like, ooh, what this? Cats fishing for cats, download, and then I looked at all of the not the comments, the reviews, and it's just like, oh, okay.
Wasn't it? Well, they're not strictly
Not even
NFT.
actually
Yeah, they're
NFTs.
not
It's
actually
just the Steam
NFTs.
trading cards. Like, you know
Yeah.
how you boot up a game on Steam and then it's just like, oh, you got this trading card for playing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can sell those on the Steam marketplace for like cents, and people buy that shit too. People buy it, and the devs make money out of it. So they basically just created a game that uh, it's free, but it passively farms these trading cards for you that you can go and sell, and then they make a profit off of it. So it's just like a very niche. Like, it's along the same lines as an NFT scam, but like, yeah.
I have 3 Mayas from Borderlands 2. I've got a Jack from the pre-sequel.
To be fair, if you play enough Steam games and you sell them off for, I don't know, 5 cents or whatever like that, you can actually buy games.
Yeah,
Especially if there's like this cute little, I don't know, let's say fishing sim or farming sim that's $5, it's doable.
I've got two.
That or it's $5 off a AAA title.
I've got 2 Nazis from Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Who, Nazis?
He fights Nazis.
Oh, okay.
It's a-
Huh?
It's a character named Gantz. I don't think I've run into him yet, but
That's a good manga.
although I didn't do playing cards, I sold some CS:GO stuff because I didn't care about skins. That's fair.
Is it spelled like that?
Okay, I'm gonna close Steam because that's a whole fucking rabbit hole. Yeah. So I'm happy about this. This is good news. Yeah, that's exactly how his name is spelled, Gantz.
Yeah, there's a manga. I'm
What
pretty sure it's an anime as well. It's like really cool. I haven't actually read it, but it looks really cool.
it got a handful of live action movies that one of my college professors fucking loves. Specifically the live action Gantz movies. One of my old college professors loves.
Ah.
Considering some groups of PC gamers, I've no doubt the Shatsy cards would sell. I mean, it's just like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy in like a uniform. I wouldn't have known he was like a special character or like a named character if it
Remember,
didn't
gamer
have.
is a derogatory term.
Yep. G''MER. All right. Sega launches. Okay, yeah. So Sega was thinking about it, and then Sega did launch the account system. I'm so tired of having to make an account to play a game. At least it's not required. Like, having a Sega account is not required to play a Sega game. Like, if you want to play an online Ubisoft
Pirate
game...
Majima, though. That's all that matters, right?
Dude, I am not... If you play hyped up AAA games right on launch, speedrun getting cards before everyone else, sometimes you can randomly sell trading cards for whole dollars before the market is flooded. I mean, fair. I'm really happy that like I am getting into the Yakuza games now, or like the Like a Dragon games, because like the last couple have looked really fun, and I'm excited to get to them. Like, if I'm being honest, if I had gotten to them earlier, before, say, Yakuza 7, I probably would not be excited for them, but like Yakuza 7 onward, they look really fun. So I'm excited to get to them. And if you've heard of Spider-Man 2 on PC removed account requirements, yep. Sony is rolling back that for... My problem with Sony doing this is that they rolled back the requirements for the PSN stuff for Helldivers 2 after they removed it from the Steam marketplace for any country that didn't have PSN. So now that it's not even a requirement, the game is not available in those regions. Which is bullshit.
Yeah, I remember that. So there was a whole bunch of people who were able to play the game and had actually paid for the game and put a whole bunch of hours into the game. I love how, like, when they even announced it, Steam was just like, yeah, have your money back. We don't give a shit. This is stupid.
Yep.
Like, one of my fears that I recently recognized, like, literally within the last, like, 2 months, is that Gabe is human, Gabe is mortal, and Gabe is old, and Gabe will someday die. And if Gabe dies, and somebody who's not exactly like Gabe takes over, like, he takes the time to respond to every single email. If you just email him and say, hey, how's your day? He will respond to you.
So for...
How's it going? How are you doing?
He's such
What'd you eat for lunch today? Nobody does that, right? Like, what will happen to Steam?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a very it's gonna be an awful vacuum. I think we talked about this. Did we talk about this in the mods chat or in?
I don't even know. I might have been shitposting.
That sounds about right. Yeah, I think
because I only post in shitposting.
Yeah, no, I think you did bring it up that Gabe Newell will die someday.
But who responds? Like, you could just be like, "Hi, I have to fart," and he'll just be like, "Well, I hope it was a good fart." Like, it doesn't fucking matter. He will reply to you.
Yeah, no, he's a real one. But I noticed something too recently. For a while, it seemed like... Because there's that very classic picture of Gabe Newell, like, clean-shaven and stuff from, like, the early days of Steam.
I didn't think that was a real person. I thought that was... I thought it was just an image for a meme. I didn't realize... or, like, if it was a real person, I thought it was just some random guy. Like... You've seen memes with, like, that face, right? Yeah. With the glasses, the short hair, and stuff like that. Like, I didn't realize that was Gabe, let alone a real person.
He doesn't do, like, a whole lot of, like, public things from what I've seen. Like, it's not that he's a super private guy. Like you said, he responds to every email. But, like, I just had that picture in my head of him for decades. Like, that's just my picture of him. And then, like, last year, I saw a picture of him now with long white hair and a big white beard. Like, full, like, Gandalf the White. And I'm like, oh, yeah. He went from, like, he doubled in age. He went from 30 to 60 in no time at all. What happened? I don't even know how old he really is. That's just how he looks.
Yeah, he's mortal, and it terrifies me.
Anyway, Sega launched their thing. At least it's an account system where you can, like, earn rewards and stuff. It's not a streaming service like Game Pass, like they were thinking about. But this feels like the first step.
Yeah. That's looking good.
That's really small. Can I punch in? Yeah, alright. RE2 Remake has not even crossed 10,000 sales on iOS. News report claims that quadrupling the price on Apple's App Store caused purchases to nosedive. Yeah. So,
no kidding.
Let's see if I can find the numbers. So, for whatever reason, to show that they can, Apple started porting a lot of, like, big games to the iPhone to show, like, oh, look, you can play big games on iPhone. Let's see if I can find the prices. Yeah, so it was $10 originally for RE2 on the iPhone, and now it's $40, and price is tanked. Who could have guessed? I didn't know there was an RE2
Sales?
port. Sales tanked? What?
Oh, because you said prices tanked.
Oh, sales tanked. Sorry, my bad.
Okay, I was a little confused for a
Yeah,
second.
no, that's on me. That's on me. Yeah, they have they have Resident Evil 2, 3, 7, and 8. I think they have Doom and Doom Eternal. I can't remember
Do they have original Doom?
No, believe it or not.
You can run original Doom. You can run original Doom on a word processing document now.
There's,
by the way.
I mean, there's like the whole thing of like Doom can run on anything. There's that pirate software thing of like, think about Doom. Think about like the first level of Doom, walking through the corridors, shooting the demons. Doom is now running on you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, that's a whole lot of stuff I'm not gonna read. Sorry, got a notification. I just brought this along because I thought this was funny. I thought this...
It is funny.
Take that, Apple. I'm also gonna...
The thing is like, there's no gaming on Apple because you have to buy a fucking, like, you have to buy this license for 0.02% of sales.
Mm-hmm. My favorite one to date is that Doom can run on a pregnancy test. Yup!
Oh, yeah.
I'm also gonna read off one of the sticky note things here. There's gonna be a new Steam controller coming out. And it's by a third-party company, and it looks identical to a third-party Xbox controller they already make, just with the Steam logo in the middle instead of the Xbox logo. Which I think is very funny.
I forget the name of the company, but yeah, that's not gonna be that weird touch panel thing.
It's laid out like an Xbox or like a Nintendo controller, where like the movement thumbstick is up like on the side and like the D-pad is down by the camera stick. Like Sony's the odd one out where like the two thumbsticks are right next to each other. But yeah, it's laid out like an Xbox controller. And it's just so funny to me that Steam would reach out like, "Hey, do you want to make a controller with us?" They have like their controller, they just slap the Steam logo on their old controller like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." Because that's what it feels like, is just changing out the... I'm sure there's like a programmable thing in the controller, you know, like it probably has different internals to like reprogram for PC and stuff, but yeah, that's the whole thing, is that because the old Steam controller was bad.
Yeah.
It
looked it.
Yeah, the old Steam controller was bad, and also the Steam OS is coming to Linux. The Steam OS.
Yeah, they're trying to make like they're trying to make an actual OS that you can run on your PC that's like easy and digestible Linux for gamers, because most people game on Windows, but Windows is pulling a whole bunch of nasty shit that nobody wants anything to do with anymore.
Yeah.
And so because of that, Steam's just like, okay, we're gonna make like a PC OS accessible for people, so that if you have a PC, you do not need Windows.
Yeah, and I think this is really cool. I would have to see how it reviews, see how it runs, see how people find it. I don't know how quickly I would change over, if I do at all. Like, I'm running an older version of Windows. Like, I don't get
10.
I think 8. I think my computer is old.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I just took the operating system from my old computer and put it into this one, so I didn't have to buy a new version of Windows.
You don't have to buy it. You can very easily acquire it, but yeah, I get you.
Yeah, but also this already had like all my information and all of my settings and stuff transferred over too, so.
Yeah, it makes it easier.
Yep, even my desktop background's transferred over. The old Steam controller involved you rubbing your hands on the controller's nipples, hoping the mouse would move. Mew.
What?
Alright, so that's everything for my sticky note. Alright, what's the next article? Oh yeah, this one probably didn't need to be... probably didn't need to bring a whole article over, but this is just something I found. The Celeste devs canceled their new game. It sounds like the studio might be fracturing. I don't know. I don't think the studio will be closing, but the Celeste devs have had a falling out.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what it sounded like to me.
yeah. I have not played Celeste. It's on my list. It's been recommended to me by a bunch of people.
It's very hard.
It was recommended, Tempest included. A lot of people have recommended Celeste.
Tempest loves it.
Yeah. I was in. I can't remember if it was like one of his streams or one of his partner streams, one of Holly's streams, but somebody was playing it, and I was like, how is it different from like any other side-scrolling platformer and stuff? And they gave a very convincing rundown of like how Celeste's storytelling with their game design, it like feels really good about like trial and error and like small. It's about like the small wins. Like they're very forgiving with checkpoints and stuff. So
Yeah,
you just have to focus on the next little issue in front of you, and that's in terms of
it's
like
room by room, right? So you don't have to go all the way back to like the beginning of the level. You
yeah.
just die in that room however many times until you actually get through it.
Yeah.
And I think you can also like you can backtrack because you gotta like go somewhere and hit the switch, then you have to go through again. So you can always just be like, I'll take a break from this, I'll go hit the switch, and then I'll come back and try to get the strawberry. To unlock the harder levels, you do have to like collect the strawberries or whatever it is. I'm pretty sure it is the strawberries. So like basically, if you don't feel like you're up to it, well, you won't even unlock it anyway. So there's really no stress outside of admitting you can't unlock them. But you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
still it is still very difficult. It ramps up pretty quickly.
Celeste is all the way down towards the bottom of the recommendation, right between Mark of Kree and a now crossed out inscription. Also, don't mind that I absolutely fucking butchered. I have Persona 5 Golden written down, which is absolutely not what it's called. Don't worry about it.
Golden 5 Golden Royals.
Exactly. Reloaded.
Fast. Persona 5 Golden Fest.
Get out of here. I'm still going to use ad blocker, even though ad blocker's not working. David Haddad exit Warner Brothers Games. So basically the guy that's been in charge of Warner Brothers Gaming Division for 12 years. Yeah, he's leaving, which is just Zaslav is destroying Warner Brothers. Yeah, it's P4 Golden and then P5 Royal. Yeah, no, like it's just a shakeup. I think another one I don't have an article for, but Herman Holtz, who was a co-CEO of PlayStation, was also demoted. I say demoted. So Herman Holtz was trying to co-CEO and was also in charge of first-party PlayStation support, basically like trying to wrangle all the studios and like get release windows figured out. You know, he was talking to all the studios, figuring out like, hey, are you meeting your milestones? When are you going to be releasing? We'll stagger the releases so that Sony games aren't competing with each other. He was also doing all that, and he is Herman Holtz is no longer co-CEO of PlayStation. He's just solely doing that first party stuff. But Herman Holtz was also the guy who created Concord before getting the position of co-CEO. 6 years ago, before he was co-CEO, Concord was his baby. Multiverses is dead. Yeah, we'll get to Multiverses.
What even was Concord other than live service?
It was there was a whole, and we talked about it in previous months, but like he had such a passion. He wanted to bring.
Oh, it's a multiplayer hero shooter. Okay.
Yeah, he wanted to bring the fun and levity of like Guardians of the Galaxy to an Overwatch style. The issue with that is you're basically taking a bunch of things that were already successful and kind of like mashing them together with everything original about the game, like the designs and stuff, were quite literally very flat. You know, if you look at like the values and stuff in terms of like the color contrast, like
yeah,
the designs were not appealing at all.
Yeah, it doesn't look that great.
Yeah. But yeah, this is just another shakeup that like head of Warner Brothers Games left. I wouldn't be surprised if Warner Brothers shuts down this whole division before the end of the decade, and then they just start licensing out their stuff to other game studios. I wouldn't be surprised if they shut down this division. Here's the big bad one of the month, in my opinion. Capcom is experimenting with generative AI to help generate the, quote, hundreds of thousands of ideas needed for game development. So, let me get a name here. Who were they talking to?
Kazuki Abe.
Kazuki Abe, yeah. So this is just kind of burned for me. The issue, so I will still play like the older Capcom things. After Inscription on Wednesday, Resident Evil 2 was tied with that one of the superhero games, Stealth and Action Combat. Okay.
Sorry, this is a little bit of a tangent, but the Kyoto Animation arsonist is getting the death penalty.
The Kyoto Animation what?
Arsonist. You remember how Kyoto Annie
got
burned to the ground? Apparently that case is still kind of ongoing, but this thing is Kyoto Animation arsonist defense is trying to nullify the accused's withdrawal of appeal following death penalty finalization.
I mean, the fire... I don't think people... Like, the death penalty...
Sentenced to death in January 2024.
Like, the death penalty is very controversial and will be seen, like, as harsh for a lot of things, but the fire that he set did kill people, didn't it? Didn't, like...
Yeah.
Multiple people die in the
because like
Kyoto
I don't
fire.
think it was just the Kyoani building. Like I think other places also got caught on fire too, right? I don't remember. But damn, that's a thing.
Yeah, Arrow Capcom was doing so good. Some small hiccups, but then like, so this is burned for me because when you say that you are experimenting with generative AI, like when you say, oh no, we don't know all of the internal things that are going on at Capcom from a day-to-day. For all we know, the entire script for RE9 could now be AI generated. We just don't know. They could list writers in the game, but we don't know how much they got help from ChatGPT or something.
Yeah, they said based on its explanation, it doesn't seem like Capcom is trying to use AI to generate anything directly related to gameplay stories and characters' designs, but that's what they say.
But then what are you using it for? Backgrounds?
They're using it to generate ideas for them to then work on manually. From the sounds of it. It's only the brainstorming process. So it's like, if I'm just like, let's say I have art block and I'm just like, I don't know what to draw, and I go into GPT and I'm like, give me a theme of an image to draw, or like something, and then it'll be like, oh, flowers, and it's like, okay, I go and draw flowers. I think that's basically all they're doing with it, or that's all they say they're doing with it, is they're just like asking for a theme, and then the artists go off and draw flowers, you know what I mean? Which is still...
So they've
kinda, I don't know.
They've mentioned that they specifically mentioned they're using the Gemini AI model, which is
the worst one,
Google's version, which like it will still generate images based on other people. Like this is generative AI. It's fed using stolen art.
If you're not playing RE4 Remake, or whichever one it was, with the fucking bunny skin, or the one where he swapped with the girl in the bunny skin, so he's like sitting on a barrel, kind of girly-ish, then yeah, pretty much. Oh, yeah, what are you doing?
So yeah,
sorry,
no, it's
Bunny
all,
Leon.
It's all good. I get that they're trying to work faster in they say that the Gemini AI model works fast for a fast-paced gaming industry. Okay, I understand if you're trying to get like turnaround faster. However, in asking Gemini and in asking a generative AI model to generate images created from stolen art, you could indirectly, like, because it'll take two images, mash them together, And then you could take that as inspiration, and then if you try to do something similar to the two images it mashes together, there's a non-0% chance you just straight up redesign. Like if it's a sign or something that's like on a wall, you could accidentally just design something that's already been done before. You could accidentally reverse engineer something that was fed into the generative AI model. Again, it's all fed with stolen art.
Yeah.
And I would need assurances. I would need Capcom to point out specifically what, and again, they're using it for ideas and then going off and then making real things. I would need a point by point what things were inspired by the AI model. Like if you're saying it's not characters, story, or gameplay, what car in the game was designed, what bench, what background. Like if they can show me this is what the model, this is a concept design that the AI model spit out, and then our artists took that inspiration and designed this. I would need to see, like...
I don't even think it's necessarily generating image concepts, I'm not sure, but they do say the system is fed text, images, and tables, but as long as it's their text that Capcom created themselves, images that Capcom already created themselves, and tables that Capcom already created themselves, then it's probably kosher outside of the environmental disaster.
Maybe. I just...
You know what I mean? Like, if I draw a little thing and I'm just like, can you pose this for me? And then I go and I draw that pose or something. I don't know. Which still is like, I should just learn how to draw the pose. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to get at,
yeah,
right?
but
And I'm not even trying to defend them because I'm totally against it too. But that's what this article makes it sound like. So it's like almost okay.
Which could just be them trying to mitigate any possibly bad PR they get from this. We don't know.
Yeah.
I hold no goodwill, no take it with a pinch of salt when it comes to this kind of stuff. Just because a lot of creatives across multiple industries have been fighting for years against this stuff, and when another major company comes out and says, we've also been using it, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
I want to say that I was excited for RE9, but I was.
Monster Hunter Wilds said.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Monster Hunter Wilds is already mostly done, so I feel like at this point, Monster Hunter Wilds is safe because it's supposed to come out this year. They should already have most of the game. Wait! What? Late February is coming out?
Late February. I know because a friend of mine, his birthday is the first week of March, and he's taking a couple weeks off between the launch of Monster Hunter Wilds and a week after his birthday. He's taking a bunch of time off to just play Monster Hunter.
I don't have. Wait! No, that's too soon. I don't have money. Okay, I'm suffering.
Monster Hunter Wild.
I already missed Rise.
February 28th, 2025. I think they're also doing closed beta early release stuff on Valentine's Day. Anyway, yeah, this was in my opinion the worst thing to come out this month. Makes me very upset. Again, I will not take it with a pinch of salt of oh no, they'll just get an idea for something and then go and make something original themselves with the inspiration. I need to be, and maybe I'm just too stubborn about this. Maybe I'm just old man yelling at cloud, but what
did Cloud Strife ever do to you?
Look bad.
I mean, it's about the things he hasn't done to me.
Look bad in most of the games he's in.
What do you mean? He's perfection.
He only looked good in Kingdom Hearts 1. There, I said it.
Ew, that's his worst costume.
I know you think that, which is why I said it.
How dare you.
I specifically called out the one that I know you didn't like.
How dare you?
Xbox Direct. We had some Xbox announcements.
Oh boy.
Doom: The Dark Ages, and it does also say like when things are coming to day one on Game Pass. It will be released for PC and PS5.
At a loss.
I mean,
Because if it's day one. Well, if it's in-house, I guess it's their own shit.
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess Doom: Dark Ages will be cool. I don't know. I'm not. That's sacrilegious. Whatever. It's just Cloud. He's not even from like one of the top 3 Kingdom or Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, but he's the hottest.
I thought that was Zack.
I like the fact that like Cloud is blonde, but he's not bouncy. He's edgy.
Okay.
I don't specifically seek out blondes, but like I prefer his personality over Zack's. So Zack's already dead. Cloud's still alive. It's fine. Move on.
Okay.
No, not move on. Oh, I mean like move on from Zack, not move on for you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean you. I'm sorry.
No, it's alright. No, I was just saying that I like what's his name?
Sephiroth?
No. The one that hangs out with Zack. Valentine? Vincent Valentine?
Vincent Val.
Yeah.
Hey.
I like Vincent Valentine.
I like all of them.
I like Vivi from Final Fantasy IX.
Now, how many? Never mind.
Moving
on.
Yeah, I know exactly where that was going. So yeah, Doom: Dark Ages. The thing is that like, I think Doom is like the Predator of video games, like the movie character, the Predator, not sex offenders. In that, like, you could kind of just stick Doom Guy wherever, whenever, and it would be cool if it has, like, the same chunky gameplay, you know? Like, you could stick the Predator, like, kind of anywhere, and it would be cool because it's the Predator. It just has kind of that cool factor to me. Doom Dark Ages looks good, but I'm not... Yeah, like, I'm not a massive Doom fan, but Doom's 2016, Doom Eternal, Doom Dark Ages, it seems to be kind of a renaissance after the flop of Doom 3... I think is the one that didn't do well. Like, they kind of faltered a bit with Doom 3, and then they were like, let's, like, give me a few years, we'll bring it back. Anyway, so random video on class switches class. Alright. I mean, wasn't it Tifa that was snuck into the Italian Senate? Somebody hacked, or like somebody was in like the Italian Senate was, this was a couple years ago now, the Italian Senate was in like a Zoom call or something, and somebody like shared their screen and just started playing a Tifa Lockhart porn.
Oh no. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. South of Midnight is the only one on this list that I am really excited for. However, it does not say that it will be available on PlayStation, which means I'll just have to play it on Steam, which is fine. Most accurate Final Fantasy perfect. So, South of Midnight, I don't know if anybody here played Kena Bridge of Spirits, which was like a 2021 game. I
think I remember eyeing it, but I never played it.
It was the first game by the studio. It's the only game they've ever made. I'd love to play it on stream. For people who haven't seen it. It was like one of my 2021. I think was a sleeper year. Like people don't realize how much 2021 was actually a banger year for games, because there were some smaller games that people just didn't really give the time of day, like Kena Bridge of Spirits. Lost in Random got fucking shafted because it is a quote-unquote deck builder with dice rolling, and people were like, oh, that's gonna have like gotcha mechanics, and didn't play it. It doesn't. Honestly, imagine the gameplay of like Chain of Memories, except Sora also has a slingshot in case he runs out of cards. He can just like huck acorns at enemies. That's
Huh.
basically like it plays so well. The gameplay's so good, the story's so good, the art's so good, and they have a new game coming out. But yeah, I digress. This
Hold on. Sorry, as we're talking about Lost in Random, because I went to the page because I'm like, I remember that name. I'm pretty sure you've mentioned it before. Somebody's mentioned it before.
I love that game, so probably me.
Steam. So I was scrolling down because I'm just like, this is cheap, right? Oh, it's on sale right now for like 90%. It's cheap. Included with EA Play. Join now for instant access of Lost in Random. I did not know that EA offered like a subscription service to their games on Steam, which is don't do it. Just buy the actual game.
Just buy the game.
Please. Just buy the game.
I mean, EA is closing down Origin. I don't even know how much of the stuff will transfer over from Origin to EA's new app that they have coming out. But yeah, I was just gonna say that in the trailer for this, kind of some of the story beats in South of Midnight, it reminds me a lot of Kena Bridge of Spirits, about like this young woman who is able to see, like, kind of cross over into another world. For Kena, it was more so about like helping the dead move on. Like before the first boss fight, before the first real boss fight in Kena Bridge of Spirits, you meet like a dead child who doesn't understand that they're dead, and it's actually really sad and heartbreaking. Yeah, no, like it fucked me up. That game fucked me up emotionally, I'm not gonna lie, because like I love Kena Bridge of Spirits so much. But yeah, this just kind of reminds me of that in terms of like story beats, or in terms of like that aesthetic of like a young woman able to like see into another world. I don't entirely know, like, and I guess that's the point, like, just to get you intrigued without showing you too much, like what a good trailer should do. But I'm really excited for South of Midnight. I will be keeping a close eye on this one. The only thing that bugged me is that the cutscenes in the trailer were at a different frame rate than the gameplay. Like, if you know anything about animations, like if something is on 1s, on 2s, on 3s, on 4s, the gameplay is on like 4s, like it's really slick and smooth, but then the cutscenes were like on 2s.
Weird.
It was like a little, like, not stop motion-y, but like Yeah,
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
That framey effect. Yeah.
Yeah, like it doesn't look bad, but is it motion capture?
Nothing's as jarring as going from a Kingdom Hearts cutscene to
To
just flat Kingdom Hearts face.
Yep. Oh, ProZD has a video on that, like specifically for Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it recently, and like the way his face looks too is so funny.
Is it motion capped? I have no idea. I don't. Legitimately, the only thing I know about. Hang on, let me just bring it up. So people can see a little bit of this. Oh no, it's spilling out from the... It's fine. Like, I don't know if people... It could have just been, like, on the device I was watching it on, but, like, the animation, like, here in this cutscene... It feels like I can see the keyframes for the animation of, like, move arm here, move arm here, move arm here. I do love the art style, though. I think like the contours on like the cheekbones and stuff, like the shading, I think looks really good.
Yeah.
There, that when she like when the house goes away and it's like on her like, I don't know if that's noticeable to anybody else, but it's like such a specific, the bird.
Yeah, I
bird.
see it.
It's such a small specific thing. But yeah,
It's like they didn't like fully play into the aesthetic. Like it's like it caught in this place in between. Like they didn't want to commit.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's that like it is a little framey on purpose, but the fact that they're going for a sort of Spider-Verse aesthetic, yeah, but like Spider-Verse didn't invent that. They just like blended it in a new and like unique looking way that made it stand out. They just combined multiple aesthetics for like one cohesive look. But yeah, you're right. I think it's that they didn't fully commit to it that makes the little things like that stand out to me. Claire Obscure, Expedition 33. Legitimately, the only thing I know about this is that it's already getting a movie adaptation.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's legitimately all I know.
Be really funny if they both flopped.
Like this, if I'm being honest, it kind of looks generic. It just kind of looks like, oh, fantasy thing in a fantasy world. Okay.
Oh! Giant thingy in the distance. Magical sword. Running through things. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, it like... I don't know. I'll wait to hear reviews.
Is it turn-based?
Oh, it looks like it has a turn-based thing on the side. Interesting. Was really excited because it's turn-based.
Some people don't like action combat.
Yeah. Ninja Gaiden 4. Cool for Ninja Gaiden games. I think it's being developed by... Not by Ninja
That
Theory.
reminds me, with Sea of Stars, I remember people were mad that there's quick time events and stuff in the attacks, but a lot of them were the same people that love, like, I don't know, Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi, where there's just like, you time your presses and you get more damage. Like,
I was about to
that's
say
nothing
that...
new. It's not like there's a fucking cutscene and then there's a quick time event. You literally press the button to attack and then you control your attack with what's like a quick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not the same as actual, like, QTE. It's not the same as, like, falling asleep during a cutscene on your Switch and then waking up dead. Because you missed your button press.
Right. I agree, Toast. This was a wild reveal. Platinum Games is working on Ninja Gaiden 4.
Hell yeah.
Like, that just makes sense to me. That's like gravy on your poutine, of course. Like, with the style of games that Platinum Games makes, they're making a ninja game? Okay.
Hell yeah. Am I dying?
Excuse Mike. You sound fine. You sound fine to me. Hello? When you lean just far enough away from the camera and the fist goes back to neutral.
Oh yeah.
It's like putting strawberry on cheesecake, it just makes sense.
Uh-oh.
It sounds
what else is new? I always sound horrendous.
It sounds horrendous on stream? Hang on, let me open up.
Could always refresh the source or something. I don't... Actually, that's browser source. I'm not a browser source.
Oh, yeah, no, it does. It's got like a staticky effect, but I don't.
That's just me eating goldfish crackers.
No, there's like a specific hum. Oh, fuck, how did we fix this before? Because I feel like this has been an issue.
Uh-oh.
Shit. It sounds like it's not plugged in right, but it sounds fine to you, then what's wrong with it? Yeah, like, I just listened to the stream, and she does not have that effect on me. Unplug and replug mic. I mean...
It's not my mic, though.
Turn it off and turn it back on. Sea of Stars, Paper Mario-esque button prompts are annoying because the game gives no indication on timing unless you specifically turn on the option that shows the input.
Oh,
Like,
really? Oh, now I see.
Like, some of them make no sense. That's fair. I mean, like, you're the person that I know that has played it most recently, Risen. Like, you were just telling me last month, maybe 2 weeks ago, that you, like, had to put the game down, unfortunately. Like, you were halfway through or something, and you just couldn't bring yourself to finish it. I'm going to go into my settings here. If I just, like... I think now you're muted. Yeah. I turned it off and back on.
Ah?
Let me listen.
Ah?
No, oh no, that's worse now! Huh. I have no idea. Let me try changing inputs so that, like, like, OBS fully, like, ignores your microphone for a minute.
Leaves and come back?
Try again?
Wouldn't that require a lot of setup?
Nope, I got it.
You got it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just had to have Discord, or not Discord. I just had to have OBS like go to a different input and then come back. Literally turn it off and back on. All right. So yeah, Ninja Gaiden 4 started happening after I took off my headset, so I already broke something. And Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which I think is a remake, highly acclaimed 2008 return remaster. Cool. I've never played a Ninja Gaiden game, but this is cool for Ninja Gaiden fans.
Yeah, me neither.
I know what a Ryu Hayabusa is. I recognize this guy, even though he's just a guy. So yeah, cool for Ninja Gaiden fans. They got a remaster of what is considered the best Ninja Gaiden game. Okay. Between like Ninja Gaiden 2 getting a remaster, Silent Hill 2 getting a remake, I feel like there was a third example of like just the second one. Like people not remastering or updating the first one. Fucking Resident Evil 2 remake. Like people are just ignoring the first entry in games, in a gaming. Might be a time for me to actually play it. Had a collection on my wish list. Keep ignoring it. I feel that. I want to like Sea of Stars. Just no. All of your party members only have 3 to 4 attacks for the entire game. Plot is bland. None of the characters have personality, but one kind of throws story events at you and hopes you care. Oof. Also has a stylish mode for people who want to get good. And looking ahead. Oh yeah, Avowed. Upcoming Obsidian, which launches... I'm sorry, what do you mean Avowed is coming out this month? So for people who don't know, Obsidian Entertainment, who made Fallout New Vegas and Outer Worlds, and is working on Outer Worlds 2, Avowed is basically their version of Elder Scrolls. Like, it's their like fantasy game. Platinum Game News, they've randomly taken a bunch of games they've worked on off their website, including Mad World and Star Fox Zero. No, not Mad World. Mew, you there?
Yeah. Mad World. Sorry. Somebody messaged me and I was just replying to them quickly.
All good. Yeah, no, Platinum apparently took a bunch of games off their website, including Star Fox Zero and Mad World. We were...
Not Star Fox. We were just talking about Star Fox.
We were just talking about Platinum games before we started the stream.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what brought them up.
I think it was... I brought up that Babylon thing.
Babylon's Fall.
You were looking at it, and we were also talking about, like, Miyamoto and Star Fox,
yeah,
and
Miyamoto
then
and
that
Star
popped
Fox.
up on their thing, because we were just like, right, they've made games since Adventures, apparently.
Yeah, there was, like, 4 original Star Fox games post Star Fox Adventures, and then also a remaster of Star Fox 64 on the 3DS. But yeah, they did a bunch of Star Fox games, which surprised me, honestly. I didn't know that they were making Star Fox games. I really just got a good TMNT game from Platinum. It could have been so good. Oh, it could have been good. It could have been as good as Transformers Devastation, which is awesome. But honestly, like, that's weird, because I know Platinum Games had to delist TMNT and Transformers because the licensing ran out on those games, which is another good reason to own a physical copy of a game. But I'm also excited for Judas Toast. I am interested in what Ken Levine has been working on over the past however long, at 12 years. It has been 12 years since BioShock Infinite. Oh god.
Oh god.
Old. Ubisoft layoffs. Hey,
Blair has been finding those. These songs are turning 25 this year, and I am like, no, they're fucking not.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that BYOB is 20 years old when I was just listening to... Oh, I guess 20 years ago. I remember when that album came out. I remember when my mom's ex brought that album home, and I was listening to it on my stereo system while playing Super Smash Brothers Melee that I'd rented from Blockbuster. You cannot... Okay, it's 20 years old. Mm-hmm. Wait. Blockbuster. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, Arrow, you're not gonna get a bingo, no Blizzard. Blizzard has been keeping their head down, it would seem. Unless there's been, like, shit going on that I don't know about. Blizzard has been keeping their head down, but yeah, Ubisoft as well. They laid off 185 people. They shuttered a studio. They shuttered the studio that made their most recent games. They need AC Shadows to do well. If we were saying in chat that, or in the Discord server, that if Shadows does not do well, I don't think Ubisoft will see 2030. I would not be surprised if a company like Krafton or Tencent bought them up to keep them around. But like, if
Assassin's Creed is a little big to just let die without purchasing them.
Yeah.
And trying to kick the dead horse, I guess.
Like, they have successful games like Far Cry and stuff, but like,
they have the successful games like the ones you climb up a tower to unlock the map. Yes, I know those ones. Sorry, I just think it's really funny.
Yeah, I mean, they have like that very obvious stale, bland formula. But like,
if it works, it works.
Yeah, even like Star Wars Outlaws did well, but didn't do well enough. I don't know what they are trying to meet, but like the last 5 Ubisoft games, I think it is, have like done well, but not well enough. Like, they make a profit, but they're trying to like meet a certain threshold of like, we don't just want to make more money than it.
Shareholders.
Yeah, it's like, we don't want to just make enough money, or like, we don't want to make more money than it took to make the game. We want to make triple the budget or something like that.
Well, maybe that's their own damn fault.
Maybe release an actual sequel to Rainbow Six Siege. Isn't it like 9 years old? I mean, yeah, Siege is like the only Rainbow Six game that like actually interests me. But I mean, speaking of Tom Clancy games, they just announced that the big DLC that people have been waiting for The Division 2 will not be coming out this year. They were like, in 2025, there's going to be a big, like, it's going to have a story mode and everything. Not coming out this year. On indefinite hiatus.
Damn.
Probably because they shuttered the studio that was working on it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
That row reggae.
185 people shutter one of the studios behind Star Wars Outlaws and The Division 2. Oh, I forgot about Skull and Bones. Never mind. They haven't had 5 okay games in a row. Because Skull and Bones died. There was the Avatar game that died. Again,
wasn't Skull and Bones another version of that other Pirates
Sea of
of Sea
Thieves
game? That one, yeah, wasn't that one, and then they made their own, and it didn't do well, because of course not. I guess.
So Sea of Thieves was by Rare, and Skull and Bones...
Make Andrew again cries.
They don't hold the rights, they can't.
I know, it's okay, I know.
It's gonna hit an engine wall like Smite did eventually. We'll have to make Siege 2 in a new engine. Ooh, yeah. But yeah, like, they've had a lot of failures. Free-to-play shooter X Defiant. Quit making live service bullshit. Like, they're also working on an Assassin's Creed live service game that is gonna get like updates and like new levels of different like parts of history and stuff. If there's like a part of history they don't want to waste a whole game to. I don't know. Like, it's such bullshit.
For me, Assassin's Creed just started sounding a little ridiculous when it was like American Revolution, and it's like I thought this was supposed to be like Italian.
I mean, the first one wasn't Italian.
Was it?
No, it was Middle Eastern.
Oh!
Altair Ibn Layahad. I'll always say it's incredible for a French company to sell the American public in 2007 when the US decided to, I guess didn't decide, but we were in like the second Persian Gulf conflict in 2007, and a lot of American propaganda at the time was like anti like Middle Eastern sentiments, you know, like boo, that kind of shit. It is incredibly impressive that they were able to sell the public on a game starring a like Arabic Muslim like main character. It is incredibly impressive that they made a game starring a character like that, and it did absolute banger numbers. If they try to do that now, they would be called woke and bad. find it so
Yeah.
hilarious when people look at Assassin's Creed First Order Legacy. My favorite part of history is when the Pope had a fist fight. Again, best final boss fight was Assassin's Creed 2. You just curb stomp the Pope in a pit. The month the Banjo-Kazooie ex-director or something says he doesn't think a new Banjo would sell well enough in the modern gaming space, and it wouldn't live up to any hype it would generate, and I agree. I agree with that too. I think, unfortunately, as selfish as it is, I feel like I am one of like 10 people that would be there day one for like a Spyro 4. I think that the gaming space has just moved away from 3D platformers like that and collectathons like that. And
Yeah, it's all MOBAs and FPS now.
Yeah, I think those games will sell. They just won't sell as well as they need to stay afloat. It would have to be like, oh, the studio has some extra money. Let's make a passion project game. It would not.
And I never do that.
Yeah, no, it would not be enough. It would not generate enough income alone to justify itself. And also, yeah, like the hype behind a true Banjo.
It doesn't help that they sent cease and desist to the Spyro fan games too, though. Like, what the fuck are you doing with it?
I still hold out hope for Saradays, the developer behind Zera Myths Awaken, which was a Spyro fan project I was following for a while. He announced that like the project was just too big for him alone, so he was working on other smaller projects. But I still hold out hope for Zera Myths Awaken. Crash 5, but granted world peace. Yeah, like again, I feel like the number of people who would be excited for it very small, and it probably wouldn't live up to the hype. Like Spyro 4 probably wouldn't be very good. I would be excited for it, and I would love it all the same because I love Ratchet and Clank Size Matters.
Spyro 4 would make me admit that Enter the Dragonfly is good.
I mean, that's the true Spyro 4.
It wasn't bad. It just felt like okay, go do the stuff. Okay, now it's the final boss. Okay, the game's done. Like, what happened? Like, you don't even fight Gulp and Crush. I thought I glitched the game and just skipped directly to Ripto. I was running around trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? It felt a little like you had like some pretty robust levels and some fun stuff to do. Don't get me wrong, but like, why'd he bring Crush and Gulp if he's the only one you're gonna fight? It just didn't make sense to my child brain. You know what I mean?
You can blame Universal Studios for that. So Universal were the owners of Spyro, not Insomniac. So when Insomniac said, we're moving on from Spyro, Universal shopped around Spyro to a bunch of studios, and they basically forced, Check 6, Digital Eclipse were the two companies
Chex-Mix.
Yeah, those were the two companies. They basically said, hey, you need to get it out for the holiday season. Insomniac was able to make Spyro games year after year. On the PS1, you can do the same. Like, the PS2 wasn't infinitely better engine. Like, or wasn't an infinitely
GameCube as well.
Yeah, GameCube. I think it was it?
It was on GameCube and PS2, right?
I'm trying to think if it was on Xbox. No, the next one was. Hero's Tale was on Xbox.
I love Hero's Tale.
Hero's Tale is actually so good, and I'm so glad I finally played it. And I've played through it like 3 times on stream now.
I need to like, I don't know, I guess emulate it because I don't have any of the consoles for it. But I just remember being in this jungle area, and the BGM in that area just fucking hit different as a child, and it lived with me ever since. And it was just a Blockbuster rental, so I never got to revisit it. And
Crocodile Swamp. And that game has 2 soundtracks. The original composer had an entire soundtrack made, and then like 2 weeks before that game came out, they were like, "Hey, we need you to redo all of the music.
Wow, what the fuck?"
Yeah, and actually, when I was playing through it on stream, there's somebody in my chat who was like, "Oh yeah, I'm the one that talked to the original composer and got him to release the original soundtrack on SoundCloud." Like the
sick.
Yeah, like the entire original soundtrack is up on SoundCloud as like one big long audio file of like 30 minutes. And he's like, I'm the one that like talked him into releasing that.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Insomniac flew under the radar for a while, but honestly, they're a pretty goated Western dev team. They're my favorite studio.
It really confused me when they went from like Spyro to what's the
Ratchet and Clank.
Shocky? What's the Static Shock but white guy?
Oh, that's Infamous, and that's Sly Cooper. That was Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch went from Sly Cooper to Infamous to Ghost of Sushi.
And what did? Oh no, that's the other one. It's the
Ratchet
Indiana Jones child.
No,
from the
that's
Intel.
Naughty Dog. That's Naughty Dog, who went from Crash Bandicoot to Jack and Daxter
What
to
did
Uncharted. Insomniac Games. Here's what Insomniac Games
they
did.
did?
They
Last of Us.
No, that was also Naughty Dog. Will you, instead of guessing, can I just tell you?
I was having fun, but yeah, sure.
So, Insomniac started by making weird Doom clones called Disruptor 1 and 2, and then they made Spyro, which was weird for them because, again, they were making sci-fi Doom clones. And then from Spyro, they made Ratchet and Clank, and then
Okay.
from Ratchet and Clank on the PS3 era, they were still working on Ratchet and Clank, but they made a franchise called Resistance, which was an alien sci-fi shooter, which was kind of going back to their Disruptor roots. And then from Resistance, they made Ratchet and Clank remake on PS4, Spider-Man. They made
That's
yeah.
it. That's it. That's it.
That's their current bread and butter is these Marvel games, but they also had like some smaller games like Song of the Deep. They did PSVR games for a while, like Edge of Nowhere. They had a really cool one where you played as like battling mages. Like it was a PvP VR game where you would like play as battling mages and you would teleport to like 3 spaces, and it had like a sort of rock paper scissors style.
Wait, is it that one where there's like the YouTube shorts with the guy who's like Fryren and
Oh, I
he
love Free.
summons like a frying pan and just whacks it back at kids? I'm pretty sure that's not it. There's like a wizard's battle thing I've seen on YouTube shorts that's like you kind of just stand in place and summon spells and you can like try to deflect them and stuff, and you have to like draw the sigil in the sky in the air in front of you, and I don't know, it's probably not that.
Hang on. It's called Unspoken VR. Or Unspoken is the name of the game.
Okay, that's definitely not it. It had wizards in the title.
Okay. Yeah, no, Unspoken looked pretty cool, but don't have VR. But yeah, they did a few VR. They have an Xbox exclusive game. Before they were bought completely by Sony, they have an Xbox One exclusive game. It's on Steam as well, called Sunset Overdrive, which plays.
Heard of that one?
It plays like Infamous, where there's like rail grinding on like the street wires and stuff, or on the telephone wires. But it also has.
I've heard of that one.
I love Sunset Overdrive, and I really want it to come to PlayStation now that Sony fully owns Insomniac Games.
But if Xbox Games is the publisher, they might still own it. Yeah, it says
Yeah.
Xbox Game
Yep.
Studios here, so yeah, it won't.
Yeah, it's an Xbox exclusive title, but yeah, no, like I love Insomniac so much. They are my favorite developer. Even though I was playing a game just yesterday, the Ratchet and Clank game I was playing on stream is not very good. I am still their biggest defender. I will still say, yeah, but at least it was trying something new. The formula was getting stale. At least they tried something new. And people were like, yeah, but the new was bad.
Yeah.
It's a 4-player game, or it's a up to 4-player co-op, so there's no camera controls. It's all fixed camera angles, even if you're playing it single player, which sucks. And the AI is not very good for the companion. Like, Clank jumps off your back to help you in combat.
Kind of like Spyro.
Yeah.
Dragon, Legend of Spyro one.
Legend of Spyro Dawn of the Dragon, yeah.
Yes.
It's not... The AI is not very good. He was, like, running off of the cliff. Like, I needed him to help me with a puzzle. I needed him to help me with a puzzle, and I was, like, doing the thing to activate it. Like, okay, if I hold down this button, he should jump in and do the thing. He turns right around, walks off the cliff. And it's like, alright, guess I'll fuck myself.
Was it Quark?
It was Clank. In the single player mode, technically you can play as any of the 4 playable characters, which is like Ratchet, Clank, Captain Quark, and Nefarious, the like robot guy with the big green dome head. And they all have their own like special ability and stuff. I was just like, I'll start as just Ratchet, you know. Every time you turn the game on, you can pick a new character to play as. But if you pick Clank is the automatic like AI character for a majority of them, but if you pick Clank, Quark rides around on his back. So it's like the littlest guy with the big guy riding around on his back.
That's fucking hilarious.
It's very fun. Anyway, back to Ubisoft layoffs. This sucks, and I don't know if they're gonna survive.
I think I know someone who works at Ubisoft, like the Quebec one. I should see if they're okay.
I mean, yeah, it wouldn't hurt to check in.
Yeah, I'll probably do that. I don't think that they know that I know that they work there because they like to keep it private because they don't want their online interactions to be when's this Ubisoft game coming out. So
That's
maybe
fair.
maybe I shouldn't, but yeah.
No, that's also fair. Nintendo goes all in on Donkey Kong redesign scene in Nintendo Switch and Mario Kart 9 First Look. So
Nintendo Switch.
this is something that you and I were
Sorry.
also talking about before stream. And it's a little, my argument is, I don't want to call it an argument, but my viewpoint is a little tinfoil hat-y. But basically, yeah, if for people who didn't see, in a lot of marketing and stuff, they are changing Donkey Kong ever so slightly. And it feels like a very gradual process. Like, this image doesn't feel as different as, and of course it's not going to have a screenshot from Mario Kart 9, but Donkey Kong has a much like softer look to him now. And it could very well be that it's an early build, and because like he also doesn't have fur texture. If you look at that clip of Donkey Kong in Mario Kart 9, he doesn't have fur texture at all. He is incredibly like plastic looking. So on the one hand, I do think it is an early build and that's not a finished look for Donkey Kong, but also they are on their website changing a lot of the Donkey Kong marketing, changing how Donkey Kong looks.
Mm.
And what I think is happening, and this is a conversation I've had with Patches, who's a huge Donkey Kong fan, as seen by the bongos I'm borrowing from him. So Nintendo, as a games company, really like got off the ground with Donkey Kong. That was their first big successful game. And then later in the 90s, Rare came in with like Donkey Kong Country on the SNES, and then Donkey Kong 64, Diddy Kong Racing on the N64, and they really blew Donkey Kong up again. Like the renaissance of Donkey Kong was thanks to Rare. And like the recognizable look that we know for Donkey Kong, like with the red tie and stuff. Diddy Kong is an entirely original character from Rare. The whole extended Kong family. Nintendo is a very insular company. They like doing things themselves. Or at the very least, if a company does well for them, they like to maintain...
Buy the company.
Yeah,
And
buy the
own
company.
everything.
Yeah, buy the company. Maintain a strong relationship with the company, like HAL
Like the
Labs.
Xenoblade company.
Yeah.
Monolith Soft or something.
Yeah, Monolith, HAL Labs, I wouldn't mind seeing...
Bayonetta.
Yeah, well, they don't own Platinum Games, but they do buy for
They own
Bayonetta to...
Beta. Yeah, they own Bayo now.
Yeah, to make Bayonetta an exclusive. But what
Which
was...
is interesting, because Bayonetta's still available on Steam, the first one.
It's also still available on PlayStation. I just bought it recently for like $6 on sale.
Yeah, but I mean, they can't really... I don't think they really have the ability to tell Steam to take Bayonetta off.
Yeah,
I'm
like
not sure about that one.
like they don't own Bayonetta 1, but they do... They did pay for Bayonetta 2 and 3 to be exclusive to like the Wii U, and then Bayonetta 3 is on the Switch. I wouldn't mind seeing a new 3D Donkey Kong game. So that's what I'm getting to. So Rare
64.
Rare made Donkey Kong fucking huge. And then the subsequent Donkey Kong games without Rare, Tropical Freeze, New Donkey Kong Country for the Wii U, I think it was called New Donkey Kong Country or something. Or no, Donkey Kong Country Returns, and Tropical Freeze. Like the Donkey Kong games without Rare did not do as well. They still did very well, but there was still a notable difference, and a lot of critics were pointed that out of like, you can tell Rare didn't work on this. I think that Nintendo has quietly been fuming about that for a while because they're mad that their first hugely successful character in Donkey Kong, like that Donkey Kong was their first boy. Donkey Kong was the first big video game name for Nintendo, even before Mario.
Yeah, because Mario came from like the Donkey Kong versus Mario.
Yeah, Nintendo is mad that a not even Japanese company, Rare is British, that not even a Japanese company was able to do their Golden Boy better than they were. So I think that this is Nintendo quietly starting to like take the legacy of Rare away from them. Like they still have the tie. There's still like some things that Rare did.
There's some things they can't really change. Like people will buy it up anyway, but if you change any more than they already are, like people notice this. I wouldn't have noticed this. I would have been like, "What's the fucking difference? Who cares, right?"
Like
but I'm also not a Donkey Kong fan.
It feels.
Well, I like it, but
it feels like a game of spot the difference, right? Like, oh, the fur's darker, like there's this lip line now, the brow is not as heavy, he doesn't look as pissed off.
Yeah, literally, right? Like, it looks like a little video game, like one of those, yeah.
Oh, wait, they gave him toenails!
Game.
They gave him toenails! Why is one of the differences they gave him toenails?
Anybody into monkey toes?
Why he grippers out? I mean, I know why his gripper's out, but I hope that some miracle Bayonetta 4 or whatever ends up on multiple platforms. I doubt it, because the fourth game in the franchise, which is a prequel game called Syriza and the Lost Demon, I think.
Whatever it was.
Yeah, baby Bayonetta game. That was also a Switch exclusive. I think Nintendo is just gonna have like a vice grip on Bayonetta now.
Until they run Bayonetta into the ground, because as far as I know, 3 and that one, it's just kind of going down since Bayo 2.
But yeah, I think that this is, and I'm willing to admit it's a little tinfoil hatty. I'm willing to admit that it could just be a coincidence, but I do think that Nintendo is still mad at Rare, because Rare made a lot of very successful games on the N64. GoldenEye, they did the Perfect Dark games, they did Banjo-Kazooie, like they made a lot of very successful games for Nintendo. And not to say that, like, obviously Nintendo did very well, you know, Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, but I do think for Donkey Kong in particular, I do think Nintendo has quietly been fuming about it for a while, and they're using the opportunity with the release of the Switch 2 to gently push away from Rare's legacy, and they might be planning a big Donkey Kong reboot. I don't know. But I would at the very least even like to see a Donkey Kong 64 remaster. I'm going to be real. I didn't know that game was real until a few years ago. I didn't have
Donkey Kong 64?
I didn't have an N64 growing up. I grew up with PlayStation 2.
That's fair.
My first...
They all had a 64. Because, like, Mario had a 64.
My dad had an SNES, and the only game that we even had for that was Super Mario World. I'm trying to think.
That's a good one.
I think...
Still waiting for Super Mario Planet.
Oh, after Galaxy 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Super Mario...
And World. We've got Galaxy, where's the planet?
Well, Universe would be next, if we're going up in size.
True.
And that's the...
planet.
What do you think... Mew, what do you think the world is? The world is a planet.
The world is your mom. Oh.
Alright. Moving on. Beyond Two Souls TV series on the way from star Elliot Page. So Elliot Page starred in the David Cage game Beyond Two Souls from like a decade ago. And the way you said that makes me think you think Donkey Kong was a cryptid. Who knows? Maybe he is. Maybe Donkey Kong is a cryptid. I don't know.
It's not actually Bigfoot. Donkey Kong is real.
I was just about to say.
Rare is the only ones who've seen it.
We've never seen Bigfoot from the front. He always showing his ass to the camera. What if he's wearing a red tie and we've never seen it?
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm interested in this, Beyond Two Souls getting a TV show, because David Cage makes very cinematic games. Quantic Dream makes very cinematic games. And personally, I think Beyond Two Souls would probably work better as
Is he related to Nicholas?
No, he's French.
Oh. Is Nicholas French?
No, he's Italian.
Oh.
He's related. Okay. He's related to the. His real last name is Coppola. Cage isn't even his real last name. Yeah, his His real last name is Coppola. He's related to like Francis Ford Coppola, Sofia Coppola. Like he's a part of a very big.
Who?
Sofia Coppola.
Aristocrats.
No, they're just like other big names in Hollywood. And when Nicolas Cage started acting, he didn't want to get roles just because he was related to big important names in Hollywood. He didn't want to
But
be.
don't they need his legal name to pay him money?
Yeah, they do. Like they know
So
who.
the directors know anyway. Oh,
Well-
he didn't want like to get popular from people because he was related, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he didn't want like when people are casting him, they don't know his real name because they'll
Yeah.
go, like they go in and he says, you know, Nicolas Cage reading for this role, and it's literally just on the logistics people, like who do I make the check out to?
Yeah.
Like
And then they learn after that, I guess.
I
But
heard
he wants to get the role on his own merit, and then they can find out after.
Like I heard a story about somebody who like hung out with David Bowie at his like penthouse. Like he had like a like nice big like penthouse in New York with his wife Iman. And the door person when he got to like this apartment complex was like, "Oh, are you here to see Mr. Jones?" Because Bowie is not David Bowie's last name. Because David Bowie's just a stage name.
Dr. Jones.
Yeah, his name was David Jones, but there was already Davy Jones was already a member of a band called the Monkees, so he couldn't be another Davy Jones in the music world. So he went with David Bowie, which I think was his mom's maiden name. But yeah, I think this will be interesting. If Elliot Page is coming back, I think that would be really cool. As the main character. Oh, speaking of which, is that David Bowie? That sure looks like David Bowie. I'm trying to.
He dead?
Yeah.
Oh.
He died in 2016 when the world went to shit. I would be interested if Willem Dafoe is coming back. Willem Dafoe was also in Beyond Two Souls. Like I am interested in this. It would just be a matter of how much of the original cast is coming back, how much of it is changing. Like
He should have made his stage name Willem DeFriend, but his eyebrows are too angry to get away with that, I think.
what if that was his real last name and he realized he wouldn't be able to get away with it, so he changed his name to Willem Dafoe?
Oh. Because of his eyebrows?
Yeah.
People
That's
didn't
not,
vote for Al Gore because of his eyebrows.
that's
Or whatever that
unfortunate.
guy was.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I digress. I think David Cage games would make interesting TV. Like, I don't think you could do it with Detroit Become Human because that game has like 30 endings. So trying to find a quote canon ending, I'm sure there is a canon ending.
Would anger everybody.
Yeah. But like Indigo Prophecy, I think Heavy Rain legitimately would make a great TV show.
Not to be confused with Vampire Rain, the Metal Gear knockoff that you have to play.
Eventually. I've got the list on the backside of it. I've got the bad games. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, do you mind if I talk about the thing I wanted to talk about just in case, so that way you can keep going if we run out of time?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. It'll be about the Japanese banks thing. So, I believe Silver mentioned it last time because I forgot and couldn't be here. Oops, sorry.
I think I did
I'll
talk
be
about
better about that.
No, it's all good.
But so yeah, as we know, the Visa and MasterCard do not work on adult game vendors, such as like hentai visual novels and other things like that. They have already attacked English publishers as well, so basically the ones that publish them. And the thing is like people can argue it's similar as like the Pornhub OnlyFans stuff where they it wasn't really monitored, and there was no checks in place to make sure that everybody was 18 and everything was consensual, But it is, like, some of the games that they made Dempasoft take down didn't even feature, like, lollies. Like, after I heard the news, I looked into some of them. It's just like, yeah, these are big-breasted elf girls. They're not lollies. What is going on? Yeah, and it's really weird, and while I don't necessarily care for 18 plus content itself, I do read visual novels that have it, but like I usually just skip through it because it's fucking cringe, dude. I do think it is a little bit worrying because if you think about it, if they can control that, they can control other things. So they can control content in other games, content in other movies that they don't like, that they don't agree with because of, I don't know, I guess religious roots in the CEOs and whatever, because they're trying to
Mm-hmm.
protect their brand. Like, what fucking brand, dude, right?
You're a company.
So,
Nobody likes you anyway.
yeah, nobody likes you anyway. We only use you because that's what, like, my Visa debit card is a Visa debit card. How else am I supposed to make online purchases?
Because you've
Right?
monopolized the space, I literally can't go anywhere else.
Yeah. And so, you know, and thinking about that, like, let's say you do play, like, 18 plus games, 18 plus content. What happens, like, they went for Dempasoft, which is a Western localization place. What happens if they go for Steam? Right? Can they make Steam take down these games and take these games out of people's library? Also, those games that were taken off of Dempasoft's website were not offered for re-download for people who had already purchased it, right? And like some of them again have that legal gray area of lolly, or some of them have, you know, the feature being like essay and shit. I don't really know. Again, those weren't the games I've ever played. So I can understand some qualms with them, but at the same time it's like 2D. Right? It's like elves and orcs, and you already know how this goes, right? Like, it's fucking fictional. It shouldn't really matter that much, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, apparently they're having issues with Japan. So banks from Japan are blocking Steam payments for sex games, which is kind of a little bit diminishing of like the visual novel genre as a whole. But yeah, generally sex-based adult games, leaving Japanese adult game devs cut off from income. And that's kind of really bad because now if you can circumvent this by using like a third party publisher, so for example like Dempasoft, Sekai Project, Jast, games that take care of the translation and putting it on Steam for you. But if you self-publish the game and it so happens to have 18 plus content, I think this also means if it has like an external patch to patch the 18 plus content back in, you just don't make money off of it. So you have to license your stuff to the third party. And it's really ridiculous that, like, you know, again, leaving the gray areas like lolly out of it, that, like, these devs are getting screwed out of stuff. And I believe closer to the bottom of this tweet that I'm looking at, let me open the. Fuck, where did I put the tweet? Okay. Hold on, actually, here we go. Translate post. So I would think. Yeah, it's anything that involves like adult products and adult content that you can't even open a Japanese bank account anymore. And like this is like again, it's 18 plus shit, so it's like, you know, who really cares? But IMO, this is just where it starts. They're controlling what you can buy, and this is probably my little bit of tinfoil hat-ish, right? Like they're controlling what you can buy, and they're starting with the 18 plus stuff because it's like the easiest target. I'm not going to lie. But, you know, what else is going to happen, right? I'm not saying people should be able to buy CSAM, obviously, because that should stay illegal, thank you. But, like, you know, it starts with the 18 plus shit that not a lot of people are going to admit they look at, if they look at it at all. And then it's gonna move on to, oh, it could even involve like God of War because there's like those little sex mini games in it or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It could involve Cyberpunk 2077 because you can literally like edit your genitalia, like, and then it just snowballs from there. And it's just a little bit of like a scary precedent that's currently mostly targeting Japan.
Like it could come down on like any game where you can have sex. Baldur's Gate, Mass Effect, Cyberpunk, like you were saying. I think in The Witcher there might be some nudity. Like,
yeah, like
game.
it could affect nudity. It could, and then it could even go from video games to, I don't know. I feel like it won't affect Hollywood because Hollywood's way too
I mean,
rich,
Marvel already made Lolicon canon in the MCU, so.
What?
Yeah, people don't like to remember the Eternals because it wasn't a very good movie, but there's actually a plot point where one of the immortal beings that's been around since the beginning of the universe is like in the body of like a teenage girl, and she's just like, I want to find love, but people always look at me like I'm a kid, but I'm actually 1,000 years old. Like straight up anime shit in the Eternals.
That's ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. But I think my favorite take on that still is like this little like stupid little meme comic. where it's just like, oh, don't worry, my girlfriend's actually legal. She's 1,000 years old, and then the officer arrests the lolly. Like, that's what I mean. Stay safe, kid, and arrests the fucking lolly. It's just really funny.
She's only here to steal your bank account.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I have 2 articles left open.
Okay.
I don't know if you have any more after
I have
this,
the multiverses and the Gearbox, and then I guess I have the Rune Factory one, which is just a tiny blurb.
What's the Rune Factory? I love how... Isn't that Galactus? And haven't they doubled down on that design in Marvel Rivals? Oh my god. I mean, Galacta in Marvel Rivals is a different... Hang on, what is the name? It's gonna bother me. Hang on, what's the name of this? The Eternals 2021 film cast. The character's name is Sprite. Sprite. Yeah, the character of Sprite. There's like a scene, like they're in a nightclub or something, and like she starts hitting on a dude, and he like walks away uncomfortably, and she's like, "Man, I hate that I look like a child." It's like, so, hey Marvel, like, what the fuck?
A lot of the argument is like, oh, that stuff exists in real life. Like, I do remember seeing like a real video, like obviously like not AI or anything, of a woman who was like in her 20s. But she looked and sounded like she was like, I don't know, 10 or 12 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it is such an extremely rare genetic thing to happen. Yeah. And most of the people that she gets, and most of the people that, you know, she gets on dating apps are all fucking pedophiles. And they find out like she's of legal drinking age and they don't want anything to do with her anymore. And like, so it's real, right? But from a literary standpoint,
why would you do that?
It's really, really difficult to write that without sounding like a pedophile yourself if you're not already one. You know what I mean? It's right?
There's a comedian that shows up every now and then in like my YouTube Shorts feed. His name is Gianmarco Ceresi, I think. And he was talking about like whenever he has a running bit, like whenever there's somebody that's like outed as a pedophile, he's like, technically speaking, like there's different like a pedophile is somebody who's interested in somebody before puberty, a hebephile is somebody who's interested in somebody after puberty, so like the 15, 16, 17. The issue is it's really hard to talk about that. It's really
I think
hard.
It's Gianmarco, isn't it?
Yeah, Gianmarco Ceresi, I think is his last name.
Yeah, he's like Italian and Jewish or something.
Yeah, the issue is it's really hard to talk about this stuff without sounding like a pedophile.
It's true. It's fucking true.
Yo, speaking of which, the Grammys were last night, and Not Like Us won best rap single, won best record, won best music video, and it's so funny to keep dunking on Drake with how well that song is doing.
Yeah. Good for him. I'm sad that he's like, alright, he became like Canada's icon, not even just Toronto. Like, fucking, I don't know. We also have like what, Celine Dion? Is she even relevant anymore?
I did not see her name. I mean, it's funny because like Drake became a like music icon before Justin Bieber blew up, and so for a while everybody's like, oh, Justin Bieber is Canada's worst like musical export, how dare you give us Justin Bieber. Meanwhile, Drake, like a shark, has been just circling the whole time, like, y'all don't even know.
Little Bieber had a really good fucking attitude though, because like a lot of people were saying he was just a product of marketing and advertising and stuff like that, and he had like some old Karen kind of like grilling him in an interview, and they're just like, well, who else do you know from like my town that's actually famous? And he's like, he names like some random like Canadian reporter who like I've never even heard of, But well, I mean, not that I am well versed in Canadian reporters. It's just like, yeah,
Mhm.
but as a little girl in a small town in Germany listening to his news, no, I thought not. Like he puts her in her place, and it's like
Mhm.
really cool. And then I think he grew up to be a shit, but like that happens to a lot of child stars, right?
Yeah, no, I do
It's
think
way too much to put on a kid, you know?
given how much he was thrown into the spotlight and thrown into both the love and hate world of being a public figure, I do think he interviews incredibly well. I think he still does kind of like he has kind of a bratty persona, or and like I don't know if that's just a part of like marketing and stuff, but like I do think he took it all on the chin incredibly well. Like
Yeah,
I
really.
like as an adult now, like because I was one of those kids. I was like, man, freaking Justin Bieber, fuck that
I
pop
didn't like his
music.
music. Yeah, no, I
As I
still don't like
as
pop music, but
as I
like
put my earbuds back in with Mayday Parade, like man, fuck the yeah no
for
like
me it was like either Slipknot or Miku, and
oh
no in
my god,
between.
oh god, I had we I was hanging out with some
It's
friends on
kind of how I felt about Lady Gaga as well. Lady Gaga's attitude, amazing.
I
Music,
yeah
not for me.
I mean, that's fair if the music's not for you, but like, I've come around on some pop stars, like, because I wasn't like really into pop when I was younger, but like listening to it now, like, I think Kesha deserved better. Kesha like actually has some really good music, and the world just like there was just a time like most female solo acts, like most female pop stars, just there's always just one point in their life where just people drag them for no reason. As a pop fan, I hated
Yeah,
his music, but I grew to feel bad for him over
bad
time.
for him. Well, I mean, yeah, he kind of became a shit as an adult, right? But as a kid, he was just getting shit on,
Yeah,
so I don't
and
blame him for some things.
and like as
Kesha,
I mean, you cannot like Kesha, that's fine. But
I
yeah,
don't know anything about Kesha, but music just felt very white trash, trying to be cool.
I will always stand by what was that song? I don't even remember the name of the song because again, like it's not. Silk Song had a meltdown halfway through the month. Turns out Team Cherry is actually just completely oblivious about their fans' feelings. What? Wait, what? Silk Song had a. What do you mean they're oblivious? What do you mean they
I
don't
mean, like the
know?
actual.
What? They had to lock down the subreddit, and I think the dev privated their. Oh, were people being not cool when it hit? It hit. Yeah, I agree. But like, were people doing the thing that like multiverses is happening, where people are sending death threats? There's been a complete lack of communication with the community. People did start being uncool towards a voice actor. Fuck. That's not cool at all. Oh my god.
Gamer derogatory.
Yeah. Anyway, back to
On that topic,
yeah. So
actually.
Multiversus is shutting down, which oh no, a game I didn't play. Oh no, I think it's cool that it existed, but like not the end of the world for me. But don't do this.
It was a fun novelty, I guess.
Don't do this. Threats to harm the developers. First of all, it wasn't their call. It was Warner Brothers that did that. It was the parent company, it was the publisher, it was the people with the money at the top that did that. But even still, don't do this. Don't threaten people's lives and families because a game you liked shut down.
It's like the fucking. Oh god, wait, I forgot. Oh no. What was it? There was another thing where like this kind of. Oh, it was the Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the devs that are hired to work on this, and they're told by their studio, "Hey, we're making Harry Potter," does not mean the devs themselves are transphobic. Right?
Right.
So it's not really good to blame them, and yes, they do kind of need to profit. But at the same time, yes, I understand boycotting it because she still does get royalties, right? So once she dies and stops getting royalties, maybe I'll purchase a Harry Potter thing. Not that I like it anymore. But, like, that's not really the devs' fault. That's their job. They're just like, hey, this is our next project.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
And Risen, that is a big PR oof. Hey, so one of the devs of Silksong said, "Hey, we have big things coming, big things on the way, big things coming up," and it was hinting at the Switch 2 announcement, not actually anything with Silksong. And instead of walking it back and saying, "Sorry, didn't mean to mislead you," they had the social media manager message a community member, a big Hollow Knight YouTuber speedrunner, to have them tell people that it was a false alarm instead of actually saying sorry yourself. That is an incredible amount of, like, stupidity, if I'm being honest. So you know people are excited for your game. You say, hey, big news on the way, and it's about a different company's oh my god. That's bad. But also, don't send death threats. Don't do this. It's not their fault. And even still, so the reason people are mad is because, like, the Founders Edition of Multiverses was like $100. It was like $100 for, like, the special premium edition, like, Founders Pack. Like, I was there day one.
Which probably also wasn't their idea. It was probably the parent company's idea.
Yes. But people who bought it believe that they did not get $100 worth of content. Now that it's shutting down. So then, obviously, I do think that there should be refunds for the Founders Pack. I don't think there should be refunds for, like, all the microtransactions that people bought. You knew what you were getting into when you bought a skin for the game, if there are. I don't know that much about multiverses. But, like, at least the Founders Pack, give people refunds on the Founders Pack, because you promised them years worth of content and then shut it down after 2, which I guess is still technically years, but you had a roadmap of, like, 5.
Yeah, we put plural, or we put S to imply multiple, and 2 is a multiple.
Yeah, like,
that's it. Goodbye.
They can weasel their way out of it, but yeah.
Farewell.
Yeah, $100 premium Founders Pack saying they felt scammed. Yeah, no, it's not a good look. It's yet again another bad thing from Warner Brothers Interactive, but
I really do think the internet did us a disservice, and actual, like, I don't know, people can just hide and be cowards and do shitty things.
Oh yeah, the anonymity of the internet is a terrible thing. I will say, as I preface this, I don't think that people should go to Neil deGrasse Tyson for everything, but he is blowing up everywhere. He's like the go-to science guy now for people to talk to. I think that he has prefaced a lot of things very well, because he has specific fields of study, but people always go to him for everything. Like, somebody asked him about dreams, and he was saying, like, oh, well, I don't, like, that's not my field of study, but I'm friends with some somnologists, people who study sleep, and he's like, and here's what I know, and here's what I think. So he prefaces it well. But somebody asked him about the internet. Again, his field is not, like,
astronomy.
What was that?
It's astronomy.
Yeah.
He voted to make Pluto not a planet.
He headed that committee, which
traitor.
I did see him talk about that. They had specific parameters for what made a planet, and Pluto just didn't fit that anymore. But Pluto is now, like, instead of being the smallest planet, it is now the largest dwarf planet, which is a cool position to have, to be the largest in a, like, it's basically the Jupiter of dwarf planets, which...
Oh, okay, I did not know that.
Yeah. Like, and it like, half of its mass is ice, so if it were to melt, it would be even smaller. It has, like, 1/3 the mass of our moon. Like, people don't realize how small Pluto actually is. Neil deGrasse Tyson should really answer stuff. He's a decent amount of... Yeah, like, but he's blown up, he's everywhere. Okay, I think he did do tangentially related, that is astronomy related, that I fucking hate, is that he retconned Superman. They were asking him, because his day job is that he works at a fucking observatory, and they were like, hey, there's a planet blowing up soon that we have nicknamed Krypton. Can we bring a guy dressed as Superman to like watch the destruction of Krypton? And Neil started asking about, well, how old is Superman? How far away is this planet? Is there, how old would he be when he gets here? How fast was he traveling? And all this like inane science stuff. And basically, he had DC rewrite Superman's origin story to be scientifically accurate about when he gets to Earth and when Krypton blows up. And can I just say that on paper, that's fine. In practice, that's really fucking dumb. Because Superman is a comic book for children, and that stuff doesn't matter. You've kind of made it less cool by trying to make it more accurate, in my opinion. But that's just me.
That is a little weird, yeah. It's really funny though.
It is, but like it's just a little thing that irks me, because like he got super pedantic when they were just like, hey, we want to bring a bunch of kids on this field trip with Superman to watch a planet blow up. Seems like such a killjoy to... Yeah, like, I appreciate how knowledgeable he is. I appreciate how much he knows, and he is able to impart knowledge in a very easily digestible
manner.
Yeah. He's able to say things in a way that people understand, but he does seem like kind of a killjoy.
That's part of the issue with science as well, and why one of the reasons why there's so much pseudoscience is because science is like this like upper tier of like academics, all these really smart brain people, and then you've got regular people on the ground like us, who like, we're either actually stupid or we think we're stupid. And so we end up buying into like some of the pseudoscience because it's digestible, it kind of makes sense almost, and like academics is just this tier we think we'll never be able to reach.
Mm-hmm.
And so part of that is on the fucking pseudoscientist people who are trying to take advantage of people. Part of that is on the academics committee, and I feel like he really right now is the only bridge between that. And so, again, when I said in chat, everyone expects him to have all of the answers, and so there's, like, a lot of pressure as a personality and as a person, and then he's really the only digestible bridge we have between, we've got people for archaeology, like that Mini Minute Man guy on YouTube, and then, some other people who do try, who share tech stories, who share science stories, whatever, this, about space and whatnot, but... those are only really little YouTube shorts, so I feel like he's really the biggest face in digestible science.
One of my favorite fields of study, like if I wasn't an artist, if I wasn't a creative, I would have gone into linguistics. And there's a shorts, like a YouTube shorts guy that, all like how every language has like weird symbols above, like there's like umlauts, diatrisis, I think is the name of another name for that denotes
all the
like symbols above letters. He like breaks down like this is what it's
accent
called. Yeah, all these accents and stuff. He's like, here's what it's called, here's why it's called that, here's where it came from, here's how to pronounce it. Like a tilde, which is the little squiggly...
Oh, are you talking about... I think there's one who's like whitish guy who talks about like Zoomer lingo a lot, and then there's another guy who's like speaks about a whole bunch of different languages. His linguistics. I think he's like Arabic or something. I think he's part Arabic or something.
The channel's called like Human 1011 or something.
Oh, okay. It's not one of the YouTube Shorts people then. I know there's two linguistics YouTube Shorts people, and one kind of goes into like Zoomer lingo and where English words came from, and one goes into like a lot more of like, Arabic roots and other languages roots and stuff like that. But they're both very interesting.
I want to clarify something on the Superman thing because it didn't match what I'd heard. It wasn't a field trip or anything. It just featured Neil and his planetarium in one of the comics, and Neil went, hey, let me find a real star you can use for this. Yes, that was also part of the interview that I saw with Neil, where he found a real star that matched that. But Neil's issue is that they wanted to bring at least this is from what I heard, they wanted to bring a guy dressed as Superman to watch... Is that... Because that does sound... That is correct. He did find a real star to use that was Krypton, but Neil's issue is that Superman wouldn't be able to watch his own planet explode, because then he would have to go faster than would be feasibly possible to get here and age up to 20-something, like however old Superman is perpetually in the comics. He'd have to age up to 20-something and then watch the planet explode. Like, he would... Not enough time... Or, no. Too much time would pass because of how many, like, thousands of light years. Legally, he has to be 18.
It's like a fucking...
Yeah, Neil himself phrased it weirdly. What he said was that they wanted Superman to visit the planetarium at his day job, which is what happened in the comic. Okay. So they did... So Neil just interjected, like, just himself. Okay. Still, I think it's lame. I think he made Superman less cool when he did that. Oh, but what I was saying about the internet and Neil deGrasse Tyson's thoughts on the internet, and something I kind of agree with, is that with the advent of AI and this content after content after content, so they used wormhole as an excuse. Yeah, like in Interstellar. But like in AI-generated content and all this fake news stuff, we're gonna reach a singularity, sort of this point of no return, where the internet is going to collapse on itself because there will be fake news about fake news. And people who are claiming something is fake news will no longer be able to believe their own fake news because it's all, AI-generated bullshit. And he basically said there's going to be a collapse in the internet soon-ish because of AI, because of falsified information, to the point where the whole thing will eventually collapse and just go back to being cat videos, which I think is a little...
I'm waiting for the day.
Yeah, well, I think that's undermining a little bit about what it will be, or not undermining, but I think it's a little underselling it of just saying cat videos. But his sentiment...
I mean, that's all I watch anyway, so it might as well.
I agree with his sentiment, though, of the, like, people get all their news from the internet, and eventually it will collapse and go back to people watch news on TV, where reporters go to places and talk to people who saw it happen, all these things. And yes, you will have people that lie, but you've always had people that lie on the news. But it will go back to being a much more respectable, like, place. Like, news television will come back.
God, I still fucking remember there was the, I forget his name now. I can definitely find it on YouTube and stuff, but it was something I learned about in my religions class. Was there was this guy who had been studying religion for like 30, 40 years, right?
Yeah.
His religion of choice, because he went through like a few religions, his religion of choice ended up being Islam. He wrote a book about Jesus. Then Fox News decided to bring him in and interview him, and attacked him for being Muslim instead of bothering to look at his credentials of the fact that he has been a religions major and has been studying religions for years and was even Christian at one time. Like, Jesus was Jewish. Like,
yeah.
Well, originally, I don't know if he created Christian. I don't care. I forget. But like, it's not about as long as you're not Christian, your credentials don't fucking matter. I'm pretty sure he could speak on Jesus better than the majority of like the religious nuts in the States. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
no, it. And I think this might have been the just another YouTube short that I saw. Might have been the guy you were talking about in like it's 2025 and people are still conflating Arab people with Muslim people, but a majority of like Muslim nations, like the largest density of like Muslim populations.
United Arab Emirates, I think, is one of the reasons, because I think UAE is the place that has Muslim. I think they have Muslim Brotherhood control.
Well, the UAE is not even in like the top 10 most densely Muslim population. That's what
Isn't one of them Turkey though?
Turkey, yes.
Which is European. Technically.
And that's what he was getting to, is people are conflating Muslim people with Arab people, but I think like 6 of the top 10 like most densely populated Muslim nations are like Asian. Like more like India is like number 3 or something.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like, a lot of Western people will just say, "Oh yeah, India is a part of the Middle East."
It's
Ooh,
not.
it's not. No. South Asia. Bangladesh as well, I
Yeah.
believe, is South Asia, and then they border Pakistan, which is Middle East, so they're close to there, but
300 million or
it's
something for a live. I've never
yeah,
heard someone say India's middle. I've also never heard that, but I also wouldn't put it past people.
yeah.
That said, I've never heard someone casually bring up India.
I
All right.
mean, Canadians have a lot to say about India, but it really depends on who you talk to. Some people blame them for the housing crisis. It's not the fact that we're bringing in Indian immigrants. It's the fact that rich people, you know, Canadian government is banking on people using their house as their retirement plan.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to crash the market because then people's retirement plan going out the window. So it's really the fault of the people who are not paying people enough to have a retirement plan, which is the rich bigwigs. It has nothing to do with Indian immigrants. Fucking.
This is my last article.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. This is my last article for the day.
That's your last?
It's about Borderlands 4 and Gearbox. And Gearbox is saying they didn't set out to create an open world game with Borderlands 4, but the FPS does have open world like features, such as seamless travel between zones. The size of the environments in Borderlands 3 was one of its biggest flaws. Borderlands 3 was too fucking big. I kept getting to new areas, and I kept saying, like, fuck, more of this. Like, Borderlands 3 plays well, but, like, I don't mind how big Borderlands 3 was. I minded the story. That's fair. I liked the boss fights in 3. I think 3 had very interesting boss fights.
The taking down to 3-2-1 to travel to places, especially when you're trying to, like, coordinate with other players, for example, like if you're playing with people, I feel like that's like just like a bit of a staple. It's just like, all right, are we done in the shop? Are we done this? Because then you've got probably me, who like drove forward because I didn't realize we were stopping to restock on ammo.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna run off a fucking cliff, and then I'm gonna respawn somewhere so fucking far from where I'm even supposed to be, let alone where you are.
If
you know what I mean? We need the little fucking this is the next zone things for people's safety.
Yeah, exactly. If Borderlands 4 has seamless travel between zones, and we play this together, I'm gonna be looking on the map, and I will just not be able to see you ever. You're always
just won't know where I am. Which way? That way?
It's like, where did you go? And you're like, I'm by
over the bridge. You went over the wrong bridge. Come back. Which way is back?
Over the bridge. I'm by the thing. Oh, that narrows it down. What thing? This thing. Like I can see your screen.
And then I died. And it teleported me somewhere, so I'm no longer near the thing, and I'm near another thing.
All I know is about Borderlands 3 is it's big in size, it's the third Borderlands, and it got it for like $6, so that's cool. It's not even the third Borderlands, it's actually the fifth one in the timeline. It's like one...
The first one's pre-sequel, right? No, that's the second one.
Yeah, it's like one pre-sequel, and then side by side with pre-sequel is Tales from the Borderlands Season 1. Some stuff from Tales from the Tales Season 1 happens side by side with pre-sequel, like how Chain of Memories kind of overlaps with 358 Days. Like there's just a point of overlap. So it's like one pre-sequel, Tales Season 1, Borderlands 2, 3, and then Tales Season 2, I think, but Tales Season 2 was bad. And then Wonderlands is just somewhere. I couldn't tell you, but...
Isn't Wonderlands just Tina runs a D&D campaign, so it's like a spin... It's like fully spin-off?
Yeah, it's a full spin-off, but I think
Which I think is cute in novelty, but for $70 for a spin-off that had a lot of issues, I guess is not...
It had no post-game, was my biggest issue. Like, I think the environments were fine, I think the story was fine. It was, like, the right size.
They probably expected it to be big enough to be able to sell DLC? Question
So
mark?
what happened, and this is a rumor, kind of like, oh, inside rumors. There are 2 areas in the game that you go to, but you don't have to do anything in. You stop by like 2 areas in the game, and it's like, cool, let's go. Like, we get there and it's like, cool, let's go. There's like 1 mission in each area, but these areas are fully fleshed out. They have tons of side quests and stuff, but there's just like nothing to do there. The idea, I think, is that these 2 side areas were meant to be the DLC, but QA testers were complaining that the game was too short. So they took the planned DLC and just packaged it in with the full game and made it a good length. Cage the Elephant, truly Kingdom Hearts, but for kids who want to listen to Cage the Elephant. Cage the Elephant is only in 1 Borderlands game.
I'll play it on stream if someone buys it for me. Sorry.
A couple days ago, when you playing it on stream, you asked me before Mew to play. I remember you
1v1 me, Hello Kitty online.
You asked me to play Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I remember it so vividly. You asked me to play Hello Kitty Island Adventure on stream. I looked it up and it was like an iPhone exclusive. It was like an Apple.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, and we were all like, oh, damn, so sad. And then the next Nintendo Direct, they were like, guess what's coming to Switch? And it was like, oh,
it's on
fuck.
Steam too.
Meant Silver?
It's on Steam too if you don't want to pay eShop tax.
Hang on, I'll put it. It's not. Look, it's not even gonna go with the bad games. It's gonna go on the front of the page.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's literally Hello Kitty. What more do you need?
Other Sanrio characters, not just Hello Kitty.
You know what? Yeah, okay, fair. Yeah, we need Kodomi,
Hello Kitty,
Tachaka, and Batsmaru.
And
I have Batsmaru stickers all over. I have, like, you know those plastic stackable drawer things that are just like kind of the cheap plastic drawers. I have Batsmaru stickers all over it, and the thing that I keep my spare Nendoroid parts in is also like a little Batsmaru tin.
It's 40 US Dodongos. I'll put it on my Steam wish list and wait for it to go on sale. How about that?
Okay, if it's multiplayer, I'll do the same.
Hang on. Store.
Or isn't it? It's an Animal Crossing knockoff, right? I actually don't know anything about this.
Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Add to wish list. Yeah.
There's also a visual novel I really want you to play. No, it does not have H scenes.
Damn it.
There was. If you want to get banned off Twitch, be my guest. I'll get you to play Yumi and Her instead. Yumi and Her is the game that directly inspired Doki Doki.
Oh.
So. Except it does have H scenes, but the Steam version has them cut out. So
the Steam part might also have the same time gating you'd expect from a phone game. Ew. Where it's oh, come back tomorrow for more bullshit. That's bad.
What's $50 in my money?
Oh,
well,
this
is so cute.
That's everything I had planned. That's all my articles. That's
I guess I'll touch on the Rune Factory thing for people who care about where Stardew Valley got its roots from, because everyone always says Stardew like, and it annoys me as an actually person who's been with them since the GBA.
No,
sorry.
Go on, I'm not
So the Rune Factory developer Marvelous has announced change in leadership and executive pay cuts due to the company's recent weak performance. So Marvelous is also, I'm pretty sure Marvelous is also the ones who did, if anybody remembers when I was playing that little cooking roguelike game that I can't remember the name of, even though I was so fucking obsessed with it. They're actually pretty wonderful. So they do Story of Seasons, they do Rune Factory, Gardens of Pharmagia. They've branched out and done like a lot of things. Loop 8, I believe, is a visual novel. They've also published No More Heroes on Steam. They did Daemon X Machina. They published it anyway. Fate Extella, for anybody who cares about Fate, even though I don't care about Fate that much. Cuisinier, that's the game. Cuisinier. So yeah, they've done quite a few cute games. Their games didn't end up being as experimental as Harvest Moon ended up being when they split from Marvelous. But, a few game releases of core IPs, sluggish sales of new titles. They reported a 4.8% decline. And so basically, they're having a change of leadership and an executive pay cuts to the company due to the company's weak performance, which I think is a lot better than layoffs. I do not think they're actually laying off anybody. And Farm Magia and Guardians of Azuma look really cool. But yeah, this current CEO will be stepping down from his position March 31st to take responsibility, which, like, I understand a lot of that comes from this, like, unhealthy work life relationship that Japan has, like the workplace pressure that they have there. But at the same time, like, Nintendo has done it before where they're just like, oh, our executives are going to take some pay cuts. And other things. So it's, it's kind of unfortunate to see, like, the guy have to go, but I mean, it's better for the executives to take responsibility, unlike, all the other companies that are doing layoffs that we mentioned today.
I mean, there was that huge Annapurna walkout that happened.
Wait, did you also mention the, oh no, that was from last month, wasn't it? The, union.
Yeah,
where unionizing.
Where ZeniMax unionized during the Game Awards. Yep, talked about that last month.
Okay, just want to make sure. Sorry, but yeah, Annapurna.
Yeah, Annapurna, who's like a really great publishing company. They so it's a subsidiary of a larger company that also produces movies and stuff. And the woman in charge of Annapurna as a full company, like, it was like her family founded it and she's in charge now. Basically, she was like, hey, Annapurna Interactive is doing really well. Like, our games division is doing really well. I want to be in charge of that. So she let the manager in charge of that division go and was like, I'm in charge now. And everybody at Annapurna was like, no, he was actually a great boss. And there was a full company walkout. Everybody, like, quit the company and, like, like standing with their boss. And, like, I hope everybody, I talked about this last time, but I still hope, like, everybody lands on their feet. But the issue now becomes that whatever Annapurna does next, it is a completely different company. None of the same people. Yeah. So, who knows?
Yeah.
I think I keep making up Occupata with Annapurna. I don't know what Occupata is.
Honestly, the other thing is too is, like, workers have the power. And remember, if we're upset at the people who are making money off us, we have to just not do what they want us to do. But everybody has to do it as a whole. So None of us show up to work. None of us buy their products outside of, basic food necessities. And even then, you could go to find a local farmer's market.
Do not cross that picket line.
Yeah. Just don't do the thing. But the thing is we need so many sectors of so many different things to do it in order to demand actual equity and equality. And a lot of people are just like, well, you know what, I'm comfortable as I am, I don't care. Or I care more about what, oh god, what's that horse girl? Megan the Stallion? That's it, yeah.
Oh my god. Who's that horse girl?
No, I'm not talking about Uma Musume. I'm not talking about Uma Musume, I'm sorry.
Oh my god. I did not, when you said who's that horse girl, I had literally nothing in my brain.
Like, Barbie horse girl who likes to go to the ranch? No, I was talking about the one, like, Stallion, that's it. Megan the Stallion.
Megan the Stallion, right.
I'm sorry, I'm not into that kind of stuff. Yeah, she got ripped on for speaking Japanese, and the Japanese actually loved it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know what I mean? More people care about what she's doing with her life. And it's just like, I don't know. People, you just need to be aware. And this is the original meaning of the word woke, is to be aware of what's going on around you. It has nothing to do with being gay. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It has nothing to do with your religion, other shit. It doesn't even necessarily have anything to do with inclusivity. What it means to be woke is it means to understand what's going on around you. And,
be aware of the people in power and notice discrepancies or inequalities.
Know what's going on in your community. Know what's going on in your city. Know what's going on in your country. Know what's going on in the world.
Yep.
So, like, it's so far away from what it actually means. And you've got, like, angry people who are writing books on this shit who can't even fucking define it. So just be aware of what's going on, whether it comes to gaming or your life, and, you know, speak with your wallet, because that's all they care about.
Jesus.
What? I'm sorry. Look,
No,
I'm
no,
sorry!
no, in chat.
Oh.
Megan gets shit on by weebs all the time because she's attractive and socially adjusted, but also a massive weeb fan. Or a massive
Yeah.
anime fan, and Toast's like, is she attractive?
Is she? I don't know.
Like, she's fine. Like,
I don't think I can
beauty
picture
is
what her face...
subjective. Like, beauty is subjective.
Yeah, somebody once told me they thought I was cute, which is god-awfully wrong, but thanks, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say she's pretty.
Let me look her up.
I'd say she's pretty.
Oh no, she's not. Wait, so she probably doesn't have like a really weird spelling of Megan.
No, but the is spelled with 2 E's.
Oh.
It's Megan the Stallion.
She looks like... I hate to be that person, but just going off of this one first image, she looks like the other one. Nikki?
The other one?
Nicki Minaj?
Yes, that is the name of a...
Oh, and then there's the one who publicly and proudly admits that she likes to drug men and do terrible things to them, and people were like saying "you go girl" to her, which is like, no, that's a felony. And that's a terrible felony.
That is absolutely.
It doesn't matter if you have boobs, that's a crime. And I don't know her name. I don't know her name. I think she did the Pussy song.
I saw a picture of Nicki Minaj and her next to each other. We're getting away from the video game.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's good to have you here. I miss having you in these streams.
You're like calling the most random out of left field people horse girl.
Was it Doja or Megan who played Fortnite on a stream and they were really bad? They almost started saying gamer words because that video is hilarious. Oh my god, I could see either of them do it. That sounds like Doja, if I'm being honest. But said out loud, that was all I had. What do you mean we're getting away from it? Well, I'm trying to wind the stream down because I promised, or I didn't promise, but I did say, oh, this will probably be like a 3-hour stream to Mew.
Yeah, I play Pokemon Go, and at 6 o'clock, Moltres is making its debut in Dynamax battles, and I only have to go, like, up the street to do it, but I would still like to go and do that.
Yeah, it's in, like, 10 minutes for you or something.
Yeah, I don't have to be right there right at 6, but I mean, like, aiming for 6, and since we're already winding down, is perfect.
Yeah, I'm done. Do you have any other gaming news-related things to talk about?
No, I did talk about the one concerning thing that I have. As much as I love visual novels, 18 plus or not, I do think that this is just a scary precursor of what's to come.
Yeah, if people...
So I would say, even if you don't care about, like, your hentai tentacles, I would still keep a little bit of an eye on that.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a slippery slope that they can start telling you what you can and can't buy with your money.
Yep.
Especially when, I should clarify, especially when it's not illegal. This is
especially when it's not illegal.
Yeah.
Well, if I understand they're trying to like skirt the line, especially with 2D. Right? Oh, it's a lolly. It's just like, no, that elf has bigger titties than I've ever seen in real life. Like, that's not a lolly. Then again, there's Opie Lolly, but like she's also like 6 foot.
You're losing me here. You're losing me here. Look up
Yonin Jima. It's so funny.
I was just gonna say, if you try to buy like crack cocaine with your Visa MasterCard, they might stop that transaction too. And I guess they're right to do so in that instance. But that's what cash money is for. Make sure you always have cash money on you for emergencies.
Yeah, like you need to use a payphone or call a cab. And like for some reason, because half of your entire country is run by one internet company, and that internet company goes down, you're not going to be able to do debit transactions. So you might as well keep a 20 on you so you can get home.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, that happens here.
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Cool. All right. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us. These are always fun. These are always a fun. Hey, you beat me to it. All right. Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm trying to get better about getting these up sooner because these used to go up like a month after we would do them over on the VOD channel, but this will probably be up by the end of the week. Just so it stays relevant, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're watching this and you wanna come hang out with us, these are usually the first Sunday of every month. I think I'm gonna have to reschedule next month's as well. The issue is I'm gonna be busy like that whole first week.
I just gotta figure out when community day is, because if it's a shiny I need to go get it.
I guess
now.
I guess I'll ask now. I need to reschedule next month's stream.
Like the 9th?
That's what I want to ask people. Would people, because I want to do them after the month is over, but the 23rd is like too soon. Yeah, the 9th.
You touch grass on like Fridays and Saturdays, so like the 28th wouldn't be a good idea, right?
Processing in my head. I don't. Yeah, no, not the 28th. Okay, the 9th. March 9th?
Could be good.
March 9th? Okay, that's far enough in advance. I can schedule other things around that now. Okay.
Oh, that's what my event was about. I put a reminder in my calendar.
For today?
For today, and then it popped up, and I'm like, do I have an appointment today?
You didn't.
Was I supposed to get it? Was I supposed to like receive a phone call from a doctor or something? I did not name the fucking event.
I was about to say you didn't type. Oh my god. Okay.
I did not type podcast thingy. No.
All right. Yeah. If you're watching this on YouTube, all the socials are probably linked below. If you're watching this right now on Twitch, the links are right there. 150 followers. Akiba's trip. Let's get there.
Yeah, we gotta play that before Visa takes it off of Steam.
Yeah. 100 subscribers on YouTube. Superman 64, I think is what I said.
Oh, when are you gonna do the Spider-Man PS1 game?
Oh god, I don't. What is that, like Enter Electro? What are we?
It's the one where it's like a forward view of like your character, and behind you, Doc Ock is chasing you through the tunnels.
Oh fuck! That was it Doc Ock or the Lizard?
It was Doc Ock.
Okay.
I remember specifically because it was very scary for me because I was very small at the time. It was scary, but I still played it.
No, I feel that.
It wasn't as scary as the Deku sprouts when you're first going to the Deku tree in Ocarina of Time, where like they pop out of the ground out of nowhere. Yeah, but I was also in kindergarten. Is my excuse, but they freaked me out and I turned the game off.
I mean, that's fair. Like I had unconventional fears when I was a kid playing games. Like there would just be stuff that freaks me out. When I was a kid, I can't even remember the movie, but it was like an animated like Halloween movie, like a kids movie you watch around Halloween.
Was it that weird one we watched?
No, it wasn't Scary Godmother. I love Scary Godmother, but no, there was another one where like there's a point where like somebody's yelling and it freaked me out as a kid. Yeah, no, it was Monster House. There's a point in Monster House where like at the beginning of that movie where the old man played by Steve Buscemi, like the whole. Is
he dead?
He's not dead.
Okay.
Where he like kicks open his like front door to come out and yell at kids on his lawn, and it creep like the shot. It's a really good shot. Like creeps in on the door, and it's like oh, there's gonna be a jump scare. You know, they're looking at the house like oh, old man's gonna come out and yell. And that old guy yelling freaked me out as a kid. I remember watching that with my cousins, and I had to like leave the room because like getting yelled at as a kid freaked me out.
It's a pretty scary experience.
There's probably something underlying under there that I'm not dealing with, but it's fine. I'm gonna get out of here.
Later, haters.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Be good, be kind, treat people the way that you would want to be treated, and we'll see you next month.